The Marvelous Chats talk Iron Man. Let's bring the boys in.
It's such a good game.
Yo, 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 what's up, boys?
Oh, here we go.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
How are you? What's up, what's up?
Look at the Iron Man 3 logo on there. I see you.
Oh, I'm gonna start doing all this sort of thing. We'll kind of customize this page a little bit. We had the Loki one on for a few weeks.
I love it.
That'd be great.
Do you like it? Yeah, it's good. That's
Yeah.
an easy,
Nice.
easy little win, you know. Nothing too difficult to do.
Yo.
Is that a
Pictures
French?
always has easy wins.
Is that a French press? Mex says. I think it
Oui,
is. Oui, oui.
Wee wee.
Oui, oui.
Is that a Hey Drunky LED in the background? Neon?
Oh, bro.
Yep.
It's so
I said
amazing.
LED. How dare I disrespect that?
It
Neon?
looks so good right now.
How dare I disrespect a noble gas? I apologize.
Fantastic, fantastic. How was the week, gentlemen?
Bro, you know what I just learned this week? Which made it even better? I didn't know Nolan North did Iron Man for the Avengers game.
Go on to his IMDb page, bro. He's in everything.
He's in fucking everything.
He is. He's in everything, bro. He's a fucking
What a
legend.
savage.
He's
Is
a legend.
he more of a veteran than Troy Baker?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, but Troy's up there as well.
When Uncharted
Yeah.
5
Oh, yeah.
comes out, we're going to do a flashback to when we got the world's first lead.
I know, bro. Like, how good was that? Like, I nearly cried when I got that video first. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, yeah.
I was so over the moon with it. I just genuinely couldn't believe it. And I know I got it as a present for Drunky, but it was a present for me too. It was a gift. It was a gift. It was a gift to me too. I've watched the video like 12 times, bro. Like, honestly,
He
I
was
get.
asking to watch it. We're like, bro, we don't know if the sign's gonna be there yet. Like, shipping's kind of weird. It's coming all the way
Yeah,
from
yeah.
across the country. He's like, can you watch the video today? We're like, no, we're waiting for it all to
Yeah,
get together.
yeah, no,
He's
it
like,
was-
"Bro, just let him watch the video.
It was good. It definitely was good to wait, but I was dying for you to see the video, Drunky. Like, because
Oh.
I got that sent. Nolan sent that to me like at the start of the month, and I was just sitting
Yeah.
there like, and you know, I showed a couple of my friends, and I was like, they were like, oh my god, has he seen the video yet? Has he seen it? And I was like, no, I can't show it yet. Like,
Dude, it's so good.
oh, it was so good, dude. Like, I was just because I'd seen the whole thing. How it happened was a friend of mine works for a big like fucking food conglomerate here, and basically he works in their IT department, and they ended up doing some crazy big project that's taken them like 3 years to complete, and the IT directors went on to Cameo and got Vanilla Ice to do like a big fucking like like, you know, like hype up speech and congratulate them on doing this shit. So I was like, I'd never heard of this website before, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, let me fucking look at this stuff. So I went on and I was flicking around, and I was like, oh, that's cool, like actor from this, actor from that. And some of them were so expensive, like crazy. Like Vanilla Ice was like $500 to get him to do like a 2-minute video for you. And he's like walking through his mansion, and he goes out into his like his back garden, and he's got a pool and a fucking helicopter and everything. Like, and I'm just like, this guy is fucking balling. So I'm flicking through the site, and then I see Nolan North pop up, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I'm getting this. And then like I was kind of, you can preview some of the videos that they do, and he's just kind of standing there like wishing people happy birthdays and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna get this. I think it'd be really cool to chop in with me saying something in the video, because like I hate talking on those videos. I feel it's kind of
Right.
weird. So I was like, if I'm going on, I've never gone on one of those videos before either. That's the first time I've ever done it. And I was like, if I'm doing this, I'm fucking doing it I'm popping on this video. Like, so I ended up like, I thought he was just gonna say like, you know, happy birthday from Finto or some shit. Like, but when he started like walking around his office and stuff and showing off all the figures and doing the voice and the music and everything, bro, I nearly started crying. I was like, I must go back, because I can't remember what day I got it on, but I was actually streaming when it came through, and I muted myself, but I had my cam on, and you could actually see me just going like this as I'm looking at it. Like, I fucking freaked out, bro. It was so good. I think I was playing.
It's like going. It's like going through Hallmark.
He's like, oh,
bro.
sorry, I do
Yeah.
my own soundtracks. I'm weird.
it's,
Like,
Finto's-
it's so good.
Pinto's
dude.
just going through a Hallmark and grabbing like the cards, and he's looking. He's like, this is the perfect one.
Yeah, no, seriously, it was.
Just
It was.
looking through.
I was over the moon.
What was great about
with how
it is
good
like,
with how
I
good
don't
it was.
know any other celebrity you could have gotten that would have been more, because like he has, you know, I'm such a gamer and I
Yeah,
love games.
yeah.
I think it's the best experience, right?
Yeah.
It's gaming. And he's voiced so many characters
Yeah.
who like I love, and like I feel like I've kind of grown up with him a little bit, right? Because like
Yeah.
he's been there like the entire, like he's done so much voice work.
He's so
it was absolutely perfect, man. It was perfect.
Yeah, Nolan is so special to me, like, and just for Uncharted, like taking the rest of his catalog out of it, and I just thought, oh, I saw him on it, and I was like, Drunk, he's literally just finished the games. I was like, this will actually be perfect because I know you love the games as well, and I was like, this will actually be amazing. So, people in the chat that are asking, I can't actually post the video publicly because technically the property belongs to Nolan himself, so I actually can't post it publicly. So I might throw it up in a secret little folder in Discord and maybe direct some people to it so they can view it.
Allegedly, you might do that. Allegedly,
yeah, like that's
we're covering ourselves legally around here.
I'm probably not because like I'd say Feige's going to be watching this podcast soon. So yeah, we're not doing anything like that.
Yeah, but, legal was in my ear, making sure that we said allegedly.
Yeah, Grant, we're good. Drunky, did you finish Spider-Man?
I did. I finished it like on the dot when I was into my stream. Like it was like a perfect lineup at the end of the stream.
Oh, dude, I was so upset I missed the end of it. I was so busy today. I didn't get a chance to Twitch at all today.
I know the feeling, man.
I felt lost, bro. I had a couple of lurks on before I went out the door this morning, and that was about it. So I was. What did you think of the end? Yeah, it was great. So good, dude.
Insomniac does such a fantastic job at setting up scenes and making scenes just feel massive and over the top. I would say better than like a lot of the MCU films that we watch.
I heard you saying that a few times, and I agree completely.
Yeah.
I'll say really quick, we can't, just in case Finto doesn't know, we can't spoiler the game. Zaber still has yet to play it. All he's seen is some of the side missions.
Yeah,
I just want to drop it out.
Sure.
But the way they treat the characters, they capture the heart of the characters that like I love, and I don't know if it's like the way they are in the comic book, but it's the way they are in my mind, you know, like everything that's come together from watching the cartoon shows and knowing the comic books and like just knowing these characters, they capture it. It's like they are the biggest fan, and they capture it so perfectly. I love their Peter Parker, I love their Miles Morales. They make a fantastic game. They understand what makes Spider-Man tick. They understand what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man, and God, I loved it, dude. We have not seen a Spider-Man this good in the movies at all, at all.
And like even with the first game, like I was thinking the exact same thing playing that first game. I'm like, this is the game. This is like the sequel to the old Spider-Man 2 on PS2. Like, you know, it was like those kind of vibes where you just got lost in the game. And like I remember when that game I think it came out around the time of Spider-Man 2, the movie, because I think it was like a movie adaptation of a game or whatever. But like again, that was the same story. Like I remember being like whatever age I was when that came out, and I just remember I would just zip around New York all the time, climb to the top of the biggest building, jump off, zip around the entire city, and you could do that for hours. And I felt like I was a teenager again playing that game because it was just. It was the exact same vibes. And like even like now, like I threw on the game for a few minutes the other day after watching you play, and I'm like, I'm just zipping around. I'm just loving the feel of the PS5 controller, like the recoil as you're shooting your webs and stuff. Like it's just magic, man. It really is. Like, and I'm so happy you got to play it on the PS5 as well, because I know a few people that have played it on PS4 and it's been good, but like nothing matches the ray tracing and the controller and how all the vibrations work. It's like
I knew I had to wait. I knew it.
Half of that experience of that game is the controller. Like no lie. Like it's incredible what Sony are doing now, and like I'm itching to play more PS5 games, but there's none out that I want to play. And I'm praying. Yeah, I'm praying. Oh, it's going to get.
Realize that the controller tech could get better.
Oh,
I didn't realize Rumble tech could get even better.
I know.
Just like
it's such a surprise, bro. It's such a surprise. Like that Astro thing that I told you to boot up before you started the game. Like if you play that full game, like it's incredible, and like you get stuff that the controller can do that you didn't even see in Spider-Man. It's nuts. I love it. Definitely play that Astro game. 100%. If you're just flaking out, like, and you have it plugged into your TV, just pop that on. It's so much fun. So much fun.
Did everyone finish the first Spider-Man game?
Oh yeah.
I
haven't played a Spider-Man game since like PlayStation 2, so you guys can. I'm
missing out.
You're not gonna. You're not gonna spoil. I always grew up on the Halo series, and my family can't afford to buy a PlayStation and an Xbox as growing up. So I had an Xbox.
Yeah.
Did anyone get the collector's edition?
No.
No. I think I have it. I'm not sure.
You got the statue that comes with it?
Oh no, not that one. Sorry, no.
Go get it.
Very back.
Go get it.
There we go.
Yeah, I know. I didn't 100% that game, but if you 100% the first one, you unlock a skin of just Peter in his boxers, and you can go back and play the game with just him in his underwear the whole time. All the cutscenes are hilarious.
No.
Arky said he's already 100% of this one. Savage.
He's actually got some webs on him. I haven't touched him since.
Oh, that's amazing, dude! Holy shit!
Oh wow!
They
cool.
said do not open until you've beaten the game, and this is why.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, that's incredible. I just love the suit.
Love the white.
Yeah, the white on the suit just pops so much, and the logo on the back is very like Andrew Garfield. And it's just perfect. Like when they first started making that game, Andrew was still Spider-Man, so you can see why there's so many there's a bit of an Andrew feel off the suit and everything. It makes sense why they kind of redid his face to kind of look more like Tom Holland for the remaster, because obviously Andrew's not Spidey for the moment.
Right.
For the moment.
Oh, he's coming back.
I thought we were going to get a trailer this week, man. I really thought we were going to get like a Spider-Man trailer this week. I really did.
So some Spidey nerds were kind of saying that, you know, they've noticed trends that the Homecoming trailer and the Far From Home trailer, I think they came out maybe 2 months before the movie did. So for some reason, I don't know why, I don't know if it's like issues with Sony, or I don't know what the problem is, but they seem to like release the trailers really late, because even the trailers that I was watching, that like we were watching at the start of the stream, like that Eternals trailer that I played, that movie's out a month before Spider-Man, and we saw that trailer like 2 months ago. So it's like, where's the fucking Spider-Man trailer? So I think they might be right. I don't think we're going to get that trailer till like October or something.
Do you
think
it
there's
could
got
also
to be spoilers in it or something? Like, the Spider-Man trailer is probably going to be so deep into the
I think it might happen. I think it's going to happen after What If. I think after What If we're going to get it, because we're going to have a variant Spider-Man in that show, and I think it's going to make more sense as to what's going on in that trailer, because I think we're going to get some really weird shit in the trailer, and people who aren't kind of up to speed on what's going on would kind of watch that trailer and be like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening. I think it's all very much connected to Loki and connected to What If.
When does What If launch?
August 11th.
Yeah,
11th. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
Nice.
And one of the things I think is for marketing purposes. I mean, we're still talking about it. Like even though nothing's dropped lately, like we're still talking about it. We're still waiting for it. We're still anticipating it. And they're just, I feel like they're also playing us a little bit, and they're just like, you know, I got it right here. You want it?
Yeah.
Just like giving us. But at the same time, I get that the marketing right now is also for What If, for Shang-Chi and whatnot, and you know, you don't want to blotch over it too hard, because we also have Eternals coming up, so like we have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
So maybe once we finish What If, or once we finish Shang-Chi, maybe they'll just drop it at that point.
Maybe
I don't know why, but Drunky sips out of that mug just seems so smug. Like, look at me, I've got all 5 Infinity Stones.
I actually have that mug.
I actually exist outside of time and space, so they don't even matter anymore. So
it's literally, they're actual real Infinity Stones that were just put into a mug.
I was actually just watching this. I was watching the full Infinity Story comic explained with Thanos, and it's crazy how much it mirrors what we just saw in Loki. Like Thanos, at one point, the future version of Thanos becomes the one above all, and he literally stands above the timeline, exactly like a circle timeline, like we saw in Loki, and he waits for anomalies, and he just explodes them and destroys them. And he has his present version of himself like captured, and there's all this, like Adam Warlock pops in, and he's like, "Yo, let me." It's all this crazy stuff going on. It's so cool, and it was so crazy how much like they mirror everything, and then like Kang actually shows up to save Adam Warlock in it, and they're talking about all this time travel and stuff, and it's just it's crazy how much gets mirrored.
Yeah, we're gonna get Warlock. We're gonna get Warlock. We haven't. I presume that's gonna be Guardians 3. I presume, because they kind of teased him at the end of Guardians 2. So I presume.
I just hope they don't. I hope they don't do like what they did with Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel's so powerful, yet nobody gives a shit about her. Like Warlock is gonna be. He is the most powerful, I think, good guy that we are ever gonna see.
I mean, I get it though. Like movie nerfing, like comic book heroes has become a thing now. You know, I guess you don't want to make them so massively powerful that like you can have someone like Spider-Man punch someone and then accidentally kill them.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. You're right. And, like, you know, you got to nerf people in movies for like narrative purposes. And like, even though I do think that it kind of creates like boring narrative for Captain Marvel, that she's so fucking strong. My problem never really was her power level. It's just that like she got shoehorned into this franchise for no reason. Well, you know, besides getting her in there for money, right?
Yeah.
And then the way she's played is just so like uncharismatic and boring. Like it's just
it's like a timing thing too. I imagine if we got Marvel and Adam Warlock at the same time, like two people that were that powerful. I think would also dampen like because her presence there is like, okay, so we have this one asshole who's just all powerful, and her answer is the galaxy's a big place.
Yeah,
like,
I truly believe what the plan was they were going to make a real push for female-led movies, and I think that's why they brought her in. They brought in this like fucking Superman, but it's a woman, and they were going for this whole fucking girl power bullshit, and then it blew up in their face, and they went, "Whoa, let's fucking retract that real quick because it's not working."
And it would have worked had they made her a little more enthusiastic. They made her even if she was a jerk, I think it still would have worked.
Yeah.
But like they gave her nothing.
She's a charming smartass, and she's kind of a Tony Stark in that sense inside the comic books, right? And she tried to have that, and I just don't think the actress played it that well. I just don't think like she's the best actress for the role. I think it was one of their biggest missteps, and I think Finto's right. I think Marvel didn't want to do a female movie, like because Black Widow should have happened way before, right? And I don't think they wanted to do a female movie. Then Wonder Woman came out and like fucking crushed at the box office. Was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And then Marvel got caught flat-footed. Like, we gotta do a Marvel movie. Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got?
Females.
Like,
Quick. Who we got? We can't put Black Widow in. She's already a real cast member. Shit, we need somebody else. You know what I mean?
No, the crazy thing is, there's so many other female characters out there that we would want to like imagine.
They should have just did the Black Widow movie.
The white Spider-Man, the chick Gwen Stacy. She could get her own animated Spider-Man movie, and everybody would love that.
I'd love Emma Stone to come back somehow, live action, multiverse.
Live action,
100%.
Dude, she could kill it. Imagine the white costume live action.
She was rumored to be in Spider-Man 3, but she was heavily pregnant at the time of filming and couldn't appear. Was apparently the story there? So she was due to come back.
Come on.
She was due.
We had Dad Bod Thor.
But yeah, I don't know what it is with Brie Larson. I think like she just still falls back to her old acting when it came to like Scott Pilgrim and versus the World.
Yeah.
And you see her as Envy Adams, and it's like, it's cool. She played an angsty, like almost like an angsty teen, like who's a singer as well. And I feel like she hasn't grown out of it.
Yeah.
Like it's still this kind of like weird feeling of like why are you still so frustrated with everyone?
She's a little one note. She's a bit one note.
Oh, I didn't even know that was Brie Larson till now.
Yeah. And I don't know. There's better actresses out there who I think would have captured Captain Marvel more than Brie Larson. So
I think if they actually just did the Black Widow movie in the place of that Captain Marvel movie, it would have been a better movie, even if it was the exact same film that we saw. Because you would have had all of the big Marvel actors still under contract, and they easily would have popped over for quick cameos here and there. 100%.
Yeah.
Like there was like a couple of references of Thor, like you could have easily just had him in there for 2 seconds. Do you know what I mean? Just before they shot Infinity War, like it would have been so fucking easy. Like they were all ready to go. They probably could have shot the two of those movies at the same fucking time, Infinity War and that, and they could have shot the two of them at the same time. And I just think, like, we've grown, like at the time we had grown to like follow and love Natasha so much that was her moment, that was her time, and for some reason we didn't get it. We got Superman instead, but it's a woman. Like it was just fucking stupid timing. I don't know what they were thinking. Like they built up Natasha for years.
Yeah, and you would think that they would want to fill in an Avenger for another movie, so that it's like okay, it's still the Avengers.
Exactly. It just didn't make any sense to me.
This, what's funny is getting into Iron Man 3, I think this is one of the first huge chronological mistakes that they made in the MCU universe, and I think it's one of the still lasting biggest mistakes they've made, messing up the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's such a thing that they, you know, the fans scoff about so much. Like, and I think Taskmaster will join that list now as well from Black Widow, and They've done it. They've done it a few times. Like, you know, they've made some mistakes for sure with the adaptions, and it just hasn't worked. And yeah, I think this movie was just. It's definitely one of the bottom.
It's so forgettable. Like I forgot so much about it.
Well,
it's definitely in the bottom 10. 100%.
I mean, I would say that the last half, like the second half, is the most forgettable, but the first half is like the most like understandable. Yeah, it's amazing. Like you understand that Stark is still human. He's still a human person, and he's still coping with like the fact that he almost died.
Yeah.
Sure. It was such a heartfelt moment to see that like he's dealing with PTSD and he doesn't know how to cope with it. He thinks that he could just kind of run away from it, when in fact he has to like embrace the fact that like he almost died, but he can fix it. He can build stuff and make it work. Yeah. And I thought that was beautiful for the first half, but the second half, I totally get it. It just dropped off.
I love the path of Stark Tech. They did such a good path of Stark Tech, of the suits, the way how like in how we get the nanobots after this one, but how this one, how he did the injecting into the arms, and at one point they don't even focus on it too much, but he just got done through like his first. It might even be when he lands in Tennessee, and he like rubs snow on his arms to like cool down like the things that would have been in there overheating, but they don't even make any mention or like notice to it. He just does it really quick, and they just keep going about the movie. Little things like that I enjoyed.
Sure. Yeah, I think Alex is right about it being like the kind of first half being really great and the second half just kind of meh, because what they were setting up like screenplay wise and narratively I thought was like really, really great, where he is dealing with the PTSD from what happened in the Avengers, right? But he's dealing with it through like something that's coming up in like his own past, which I thought was like they just kind of like tied that together like really, really well. Like things come back to haunt you, you just can't move on, and the way they are able to like deal with his PTSD from the Avengers and all the aliens and going through a wormhole through telling this story of AIM Tech and those things that he set up way in his past coming back to haunt him. I just thought that was like one of the better MCU scripts up until the end, that it just kind of went off the rails. But I thought this thing did the work really well, where everything that got done in the very end of the movie got set up early in the movie in terms of tech, in terms of like things they're going to be doing, and then they disguise the payoff, and then it pays off, and it's like bam, there it is. The whole thing where he's like flying and he's saving everyone from Air Force One, and then he like gets hit by the truck and it disassembles or whatever. Like totally didn't see that coming, but they had that set up the entire time they were setting that up. You know?
I had that down in my notes. That's the best part of the the movie.
Yeah, I love how they explain how many suits he has at that point. She's like, "How many is that at this point?" He looks down at his arm and it says Mark 42.
Yeah.
And I think the current one in like in the movies wise is I think 82 or 85.
I asked you this, Alex. When he is talking to all the suits by name, did all those suits have their own comics and stories? He's like, Igor, do this. Heartseeker, do that.
Yeah, they had their own purpose, and I believe they were all in the comics. That's one of the things I really liked. Like, although the second half was a bit like not done well, all of the action scenes, in my opinion, were done really well.
Yeah,
like
very fun.
All of the action scenes. The Iron Legion, when they came in, that was like a comic book fan moment. It's like, oh my god, there's the Iron Man that does
jobs,
the pile driver one.
Yeah.
His name's Igor. Okay.
I think that should have been where they stopped.
The house party protocol said.
I know that Jon Favreau, when they were making the movies, he was obsessed with the comic books, and he always wanted to make kind of Iron Man's Batcave where he showed off the suits and stuff like that. And I remember like watching an interview with him, and he was saying that he loved making those movies, but he wanted to make more suits so that he could display them on the walls, and that was kind of when they got to the third one.
Cool parts about Batman, honestly.
The Batcave's amazing, and like it's just like what he wanted to do was just make so many suits that they could display them and just have so many suits. But I think personally that's where it should have stopped. I don't like the whole nanotech thing. I think like he got to his kind of technical peak there. I think like when he's got like the Iron Legion and stuff, I think it shouldn't have gone really much further than that. It just kind of gets a little more ridiculous each time. And even the third, like when he's like controlling suits by like, you know, remotely or whatever. I thought like, you know, there's the whole comedy side to it was done very well, where, you know, the suit's up in the sitting room, and, you know, he's chatting away and chatting up pots and everything, and then it's like, actually I'm downstairs, like, you know, don't give out, like, I'm still working. I thought that was all kind of really funny. But then, you know, I just thought it just starts to get a bit ridiculous. It kind of turns into a bit of a Transformers movie by the end or something. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's just manic. Like, it's fun, but it's a bit too far.
The reason it works for me is because I feel like the tech we see in this Iron Man 3 movie, I feel like Elon Musk might be doing that stuff to himself in his bathroom at night, like injecting like these technical, like, I feel like we're not far off from that. And because of the stakes that we are at, and like, because it's a universal galaxy type thing, I feel like they have to make it a little bit more fantastical. And I feel like in 10, 20 years from now, it's not going to be that crazy. And it's going to still hold up, because they're going to be like, oh, we have nanotech now. That's pretty cool. They were talking about this 10 years ago, and they were like, I think it's one of those things where like they're future-proofing themselves a little bit, and it's cool because I feel like that is where we're going to head. So I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy with the whole Pepper Potts.
And it gave us...
I forgot they gave her superpowers.
Yeah, and it was just for a brief moment.
Yeah.
But
probably,
I mean,
that's probably the weakest element.
For 20 minutes,
of the script, where it's like, you know, Tony is dealing with a way to, like, you know, deal with his past and be the hero and all this stuff, and it's like Pepper Potts is kind of the one that, like, what saves the day and, like, does it, and it kind of robs Tony of, like, this whole narrative arc that they have been building from the beginning of the film, where it's like, what has he really get done himself? You know, he's trying to, like, live his life without his, like, robots and stuff, and then the Iron Legion comes in and saves the day, and then Pepper Potts is the one who's to beat Guy Pearce. I forget, was Killian, I think his name is?
Killian, yeah.
From
Aldrich Killian?
Yeah. So she's, like, his Iron Legion's the ones to deal with the big problem. Pepper Potts is the one that has to deal with Killian, and then, like, Tony's just left there to be like, hey, let's go. Like,
he's like John Williams. He's just directing the orchestra, like, you know.
What Pepper called in the blue when she wears the blue suit? I feel like they were trying to set that up. Yeah, they were trying to set up. I feel like they were trying to set up rescue in this movie potentially for like an Iron Man 4, like maybe Iron Man 4, Iron Man and Rescue in that, because it felt like they put her in that suit. They put her in the actual Iron Man suit like early on in the movie to save the other chick, the botanist chick. And then they had her go out, and then like they had her like kind of like look shocked and like figuring it out in the suit.
Please, Cal. She leads a team of 40 people who are researching.
Yeah, you can just call her I guess I can call her a botanist. Yeah. So I feel like they were trying to set up rescue very hard in this movie, and then we don't actually see that payoff until Endgame, and even then we barely see it. So that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Her name
is like
amazing.
She operates the actual pew in this on her own, and it's pretty nice.
I loved Happy's comedy in this one.
Oh my god, Happy with the mullet is my favorite.
He's so good, dude. He's so good. I love it.
Before the podcast, I was going and looking up like who directed and wrote this stuff, and this guy Shane Black, who directed it, he actually wrote the script for like Lethal Weapon, Lethal Weapon 2. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Like, the dude's a comedy writer. He's an action comedy writer.
Yeah,
and I think you can definitely pick up those beats, you know.
Perfect, yeah.
Predator. I was like,
yes,
what?
You did Predator. Yeah. So I could totally feel his influence. And it's like one of those things. Even though this isn't a great movie, like I find it enjoyable to go back and watch it because it's one of the biggest problems in the MCU. I keep talking about. It's just a fucking grief fest right now. Yeah. And then you go back to Tony Stark or Iron Man 3, where he's like dealing with PTSD, all these big issues, and it's still kind of lighthearted. It's still fun, and it's like
still a kids movie.
Yeah, and I just it's still enjoyable to go back and watch, even though it's kind of forgettable. Like when it does come up, you're like, oh, okay, let's watch this. This is nice. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the funny things about the movie, though, is like this is actually my third time watching it, and I feel that although it does fall short, I feel that every time I watch it, it gets slightly better.
Yeah.
It gets ever so slightly better.
This is Marvel's problem, bro. Like as I always keep saying, they've set the bar so high for themselves that when they fail, it's still a great movie. Like if DC put out this movie, it would be fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like when you put it in the MCU fucking like powerhouse, it's just not as good, but it's still good. You know.
I feel like Gwyneth Paltrow is just really missing out on selling those one special candles she has with the MCU Pepper Potts branding, you know?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I
A
don't
rescue candle?
think Disney are gonna let her fucking do any of that shit.
Come on, it's a cash grab.
Yeah.
Pepper Potts.
Yeah, Disney
candles.
Disney do not want their name anywhere near that shit. Yeah,
That's so.
Chandler was saying in the chat there, is like, anybody else not like Pepper, or is it just me? And to be honest, I could take or leave the character, because I don't think she is actually that important I know she's very important to Tony, but you don't really like. I'm sure I'd love to Google and see how much screen time she actually has in the MCU. I don't think it's actually a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a lot, though.
She's such a fucking insane bitch in real life that it kind of puts me off her in the movies. And I know you shouldn't look at movies like that, but I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't even look at this woman, like she's just such a weirdo in real life, like, you know.
Yeah.
Shallow Hal was
I
great.
mean, Chris Martin.
She has 1 hour and 10 minutes.
I mean,
an hour and 10
I think
minutes
it would
in the
have
entire
been-
thing. That's crazy.
it's not
That
too
is
bad.
crazy.
But like, I think we could have used a little bit more like Playboy Tony Stark for a little bit longer,
I
maybe
would
about
love
another
it.
movie or so.
That was like,
Yeah.
Iron Man 1 is the epiphany of Tony Stark, and it's incredible. Like, he's just, that's where you, like, from the first minute you see him, you're like, holy shit, this guy is Tony Stark. This is perfect. I'll never forget the first fucking 5 minutes of me sitting in the cinema watching that movie. I was like, this is next level. They've just changed the game. 5 minutes into that film, I'm like, they've changed the fucking game. Like, it is incredible. And yeah, I miss that Tony so much. Like, in like the Tony at the end wasn't the same guy, like, you know. And obviously, you know, they've been through so much, and he, you know, obviously he's going to develop as a character, of course.
Yeah,
but
the finale setup was actually like really well done, especially showing how he came from like someone who didn't give a shit about who he was sleeping with, who he cared about, and whatnot, to ultimately hugging Tom Holland and basically showing that like he can care about someone, and he truly loves the people that he tries to take care of, and it's fantastic. Also regarding the end, like with the scene with Pepper having the extremist virus in her and whatnot, I do agree that kind of falls short because of the fact that like you wanted Tony to kind of try to save himself at some point, and I think to finish it off, it would have been sick, like in my opinion, to bring in the Iron Legion, have him call them all down, and literally hold Killian, and just like lift.
Why did they do that? Why did they do that?
You want to hear something?
Do something with it.
I just did the research. This is a little old. At the start of 2020, Pepper Potts is like rank 4 out of 10 out of all female screen time. Like at the start of 2020, Wanda had 34 minutes. Pepper Potts has 110 minutes compared to rank 1 Natasha Romanoff, an hour and 50 minutes screen time.
And I think that's a strength of the Iron Man movies, is that they use their side characters really well. I think part of the reason this one didn't work as well as number 2, even though that one's not like the best movie there is that the trio, the real heart of the Iron Man franchise is Pepper Potts, Happy, and Tony Stark. Like it's the them bouncing off each other, the banter between those three that really makes this franchise work. And they're you know, Happy goes into a fucking coma this whole movie. Like, what kind of misstep is that? Pepper gets kidnapped for half the movie, so she's not there. So it totally makes sense to me that she's had so much screen time, because Iron Man 1, she was huge. Iron Man 2, she was huge.
Yeah.
And this is probably her least amount of screen time besides Endgame, I guess, you know?
Is it possible that the reception from 2 regarding like Rhodes was like well received, and so they wanted to like add more Rhodes to 3?
Yeah,
because like it wasn't a lot of screen time for Rhodes, but like we definitely saw a lot of him.
Yeah,
plus
plus
the whole
Civil War and
Iron
stuff.
Patriot stuff and everything, like, you know.
And that was cool.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. Like I found it kind of strange when we hit the whole Isaiah Bradley thing and the whole, you know, black fucking Captain America. I found it strange that there was never even a comment made about a black Iron Man. Like, they were trying to kind of do that in a way, but you know, they didn't, and it was kind of strange to me that kind of went over the radar completely. Like, you know, nobody kind of made comments about it or anything. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, there was a little that whole series was reaching a little bit for something, you know.
Yeah,
that I think it's there, and I just think they're overreaching it a little bit, but 100% was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they're like, you know, they totally forget about Rhodes, and even though he's in the very beginning and kind of sets that contextually, I guess they consider the mantle of Captain America to be different, you know, like he's a symbol more than Iron Man's like a fucking goon.
I'm sure I remember
That's
hearing
what's crazy is I was gonna say they were trying to make him a symbol, not like Iron Man. It wasn't really a symbol, but they were trying to make Rhodes a symbol, the Iron Patriot, like a captain. Yeah. They were trying to make him kind of like a Captain America, since Iron Man wouldn't do it. It was like the reverse role. Like, since Captain America wants to be Captain America, it was like, who wants this? And they're trying to give it to someone, and this was like, well, he won't do it, so we need to make someone. Let's make it Rhodes.
Yeah. I remember during the whole. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think the representation of Iron Patriot or War Machine is vastly different from Captain America, because if you think about it, Captain America can take off his hat at any point. Like, he can show his face and whatnot, and of course you know who Rhodes is. Of course you know who War Machine is, but that's a suit of armor. True. Compared to someone who actually is out there fighting as a human, just being a human with the shield and whatnot and technology. But being exposed like that and showing your face towards your enemy and like kind of like back then when the president would go out there and give a speech without any sort of security whatsoever, like that was some badass stuff. Like, being able to represent America in that way is fantastic, and I think that's where they were trying to go with Captain America, for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and showing that like Isaiah Bradley was a Captain America, but they slipped him to the side because they didn't want to represent America with a black man, which is strange. It's so strange.
Well, no.
Well, like, in terms of like that time, yes, it was,
Yeah, no, I'm from the South. I understand completely. I understand completely the way that people are here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I would just say, I think in like Falcon Winter Soldier, with Captain America being such a huge symbol in the modern era, I don't think they really ever established that in the MCU. They established that like in the 1950s, but how much corny shit from the 50s is huge back then that we don't care about now anyways.
Exactly.
So I never really got the sense that Captain America was this like huge symbol for like the country inside the MCU with like Chris Evans' character when he's playing Captain America.
Yeah.
Inside of that universe, because he just walks away from it and like doesn't want anything to do with the government for the longest time. Yeah. Like forever in the MCU, ever since like the Winter Soldier, he bailed on him,
Oh yeah.
So
and
that's why when the like Winter Falcon Soldier to come in, is like Captain America's like huge thing. I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
It took me a little bit to get up to speed on that,
Yeah.
I think because they made the museum, it became more apparent that like Captain America meant a lot to the population. So
true.
Had we known about the museum beforehand, I'm pretty sure we would have been a little more like accepting of it and been like, oh, well, everyone knows Captain America. Everyone loves Captain America. Okay, that's their symbol of America.
Right.
The museum was in previous movies as well, though.
Did we?
Yeah. You see it in the
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
He's walking around, and that's right.
Yeah,
he's just walking around it, and obviously it's the exact same. It's the exact same museum, yeah.
And like, I guess it's like you don't really get moments where you see citizens in the MCU, which is kind of like one of those things I think the MCU lacks a little bit. Is like those character moments from the population where they're like, "Oh my God, there's fucking Captain America! That's crazy."
We didn't get it till Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Wanda. Just mentioning that, Drunky. Have you ever read the book called Marvels?
No.
Everyone, you all have to read this book. Try and get it digitally or something. But it's literally, I think it was made in like the 70s or 80s or something. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. I think it's just called The Marvels. No, probably just Marvels.
Ooh, I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah.
Is it by Brian Selznick, the one in 2015?
No, I think it's much older than that. It's this one here, I think. Sorry to go off track here, but
you're good.
It's one of the best comic books I've ever read. But basically, the story of it is it's set in New York City, but it's from the point of view of the citizens. So you're following normal people around, and then crazy shit just happens, like where like the city will just get attacked, and it's like Spider-Man and the Green Goblin fighting, but it's like people on their way to work and stuff. So you're just following normal people.
It's the funniest.
But
is it a paperback with Spider-Man on it?
Yeah, this is it here. Oh my God. Websites. Have you seen Have you noticed this on the internet now? Like websites. I don't know if you can see that there. Like these are all
94.
It's all this like it's like set back at the very beginning of the superheroes. So like it's set in like the 50s and stuff. And it's kind of like when they first created the Human Torch and stuff like that. But Spider-Man's in it and stuff. It's honestly one of the best books I've ever read from Marvel, like for sure. It's just it's incredible. There was this comic book nerd that I used to work with, and he set up like a book club for us, and that was the first book that he told us all to read. And I actually still might have it. I think I actually have
they
it.
They remastered it in 2018. Finto.
Damn.
Yeah.
$44 for a paperback. Jesus.
No. I have a digital copy of it. I'll throw it up on Discord, and I think you can just download like Simple Comics or whatever that app to read it. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
But my God, what a fucking book! It is incredible. I don't know if the remaster or whatever is it the old book but just re-released.
Yeah, I think it's collecting Marvels 0 through 4 within the Marvel universe. Heroes soar high in the skies, ready to battle the villains who threaten their world. Yet living in the shadow of these extraordinary icons are ordinary men and women who view the Marvels with a mixture of fear, disbelief, envy, and admiration.
Yeah, it's incredible. Just the way that the point of view that you see it from, like the public are scared as they're making like the first Human Torch and stuff like that. It's fucking incredible. Seriously, just I'll sort this all out with it. I have it somewhere. I have it on one of my laptops somewhere. But it's incredible. You have to read it. Fantastic. Anybody in chat, let me know if you want. It spans
from the 1939 debut of the Human Torch going all the way up to Spider-Man.
Yeah, because I think the Human Torch, I believe, was the first superhero. Maybe am I mistaken?
Yeah, it said the Human Torch to the fearsome coming of the world-devouring Galactus.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's incredible. it's such an incredible series.
That's crazy. It says it follows a guy named Phil, who's a New York City photojournalist. Yeah. He's dedicated his career to covering the exploits of the Marvels.
There you go.
Sounds amazing.
It's so fucking good. The art's amazing in it, and you just feel like you're actually in the in the 50s and stuff while you're reading it. It's so well done.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I got from the Spider-Man game a lot. It's because you're so ground level, you're so in New York when you're playing that.
Yeah,
it's just the amount of destruction. Like, can you imagine you're just getting a cup of coffee, and this fucking rhino just comes busting out of the side of a building?
Yeah,
like you would never want to live anywhere. Like everyone would be living out in the middle of nowhere if we lived in a world with superheroes. I'd be moving to like Nebraska, like off the grid. Like, don't even come near me. This is craziness.
You should all move over. You should all move over here. Shit, nothing goes on over here.
I'm gonna move there just because what I realized at the start of this podcast, Finto's like, yeah, I knew this one guy who knows this one guy, talking about how he got to Nolan North. I'm like, Finto, do you know everybody in Ireland? He knows all the Irish actors. He knows this one guy in this food industry. He knows this other guy.
Well, there's only like 4 million people in the entire country. So
yeah, and Finto knows half of them.
Sounds comfy.
Sure, I grew up like 10 minutes away from where McGregor lives.
You just set us up right when we get over there. You know. Get our street cred up.
Easy. It's expensive over here, but it's safe. It's safe, guys. There will not be any Avengers-style events happening over here.
Yeah, they don't want safe. I don't know. McGregor breaking his ankle might make it a little bit less safe. Like, I'm a little less scared now.
Every time something crazy happens in a movie, like, you know, where someone's going on the run, like, you know, it's like an action movie and it's like, shit, I gotta go into hiding. I always think to myself, fucking throw them down in West Cork or something. They'll never be found, bro. Like, literally never be found.
I'm going to New Zealand. I'm going to where they filmed Hobbit, bro. I'm going to New Zealand. See y'all.
Yeah.
Later.
They're actually starting to film a lot of stuff here now. Most of Game of Thrones was filmed here. Most of Vikings was filmed here. Like, Vikings was filmed like 10 minutes from my house. Like, it's crazy. Like, loads of my friends were in it. Like, that's how close it was.
I'm about to rewatch The Hobbit because I was watching this video the other day explaining why Doctor Strange is my favorite out of everybody. And it's like, it's not necessarily all because of Doctor Strange. Like, I do love the character, but like, I am just such a huge Benedict Cumberbatch fan. I was playing the video of him doing the acting behind Smaug, and he's like getting into it so much, bro.
He's so good,
and it's so good. And then I just think about how he's the only one who's like just says how he feels in the MCU. Like, someone Stark tries to be the rich playboy with him, and he's like, "Shut your mouth, dipshit." Yeah. Somebody else tries to be the tough guy. I'm
trying to save your reality.
Like Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange.
He's a baller.
He's a shot caller.
Well, once 100%. Cumberbatch's career goes downhill a little bit, we'll get you a cameo for your birthday. I don't think we can afford him. I don't think we can afford him right now, but, you know, maybe 10, 15 years from now.
Bro, just get him
in the calendar.
Me a little bit.
Do you know how much Robert Downey Jr. made for Iron Man 3?
I'm going to say
20 mil.
82 million.
I was thinking 20.
82?
So
I'm going to say 20.
His salary for the film, like, not like how much money he made altogether or whatever. Like,
Oh.
how much money
No,
did
yeah, I'm
Marvel?
saying-
How did Marvel pay him to be in that movie?
Yeah, 20.
20
I'm guessing
million.
20.
That's how
I'm
much.
going with 20.
That's how much he got for Endgame.
He got 20 for Endgame?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah. He got 500K.
He only got 500K?
jeez.
500K for Iron Man 3.
don't worry. The movie reflects.
Yeah.
That's a 500K Iron Man movie right there.
Well, this is why we lost Terrence Howard, because Terrence Howard was getting like 10 times the amount as RDJ in the first one. So they're like, we can't bring this guy back for the second one. Like, I think
Did he really get
Terrence
that
Howard,
much? Well, RDJ,
Terrence Howard, I believe,
yeah.
I think he got like something like 10 million for Iron Man 1. Insane. I don't know how he swung it, but he got like $10 million for the first film. Robert Downey Jr. got like 50 grand or something.
He's like, there's a few good men on set, and
Oh my
RDJ isn't one of them.
Yeah, it's insane.
Insane.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
But that's why they threw. That's why they threw him out. They were like, we gotta get rid of this guy. We can't have him making more than Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is now the biggest fucking movie star in the world right now. So it's like,
Right.
Terrence Howard, see you later, bro. Don
Yeah.
Don Cheadle, what are you up to today, bro?
I guess there's not a next time.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite memes on the internet. Next time, baby, and it's like seen 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's ice cold, bro. It's so good.
RDJ got him back though, bro. Like, didn't he? Like, I'm reading here, he got 15 million to show up in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched Space Jam, by the way?
$15 million for 8 minutes work. 8 minutes screen time.
Oh,
8
Don's
minutes.
the bad guy.
fucking
Don's the bad guy
15 million. Insane.
in the new Space Jam.
I was watching a few because I was like, I've seen this movie like a lot of times, and I was like, I'm not really gonna watch it again because I've seen it so many times. I only did the whole timeline recently, so I was like, I'm not fucking watching this movie again. So I was going through a couple of like the deleted scenes and stuff like that, and some of them were just so cheesy. But I was going through them and I saw that, you know, the kid Harley's his name in it. They had a whole story arc of him getting bullied, and then there's a scene where these kids show up on these like 4x4 like fucking ice fucking like ATVs, and they're like bullying the kid, and the kid's like, oh, you watch out, like Tony Stark's over there, and the kid's like, yeah, we don't believe you or whatever. And then like during that big scene where the water tower falls over, the kid that's bullying him is in the scene, and then he ends up getting trapped and all, and but the little kid Harley ends up saving him. And I was like, it's actually kind of a cool little story arc. I don't know why they took it out of the film altogether. Like, the kid doesn't appear, like it's not even mentioned once in the film. I was watching these deleted scenes and I was like, this is like it kind of, I don't know, because like Tony tries to help him and stuff. I think it kind of develops Tony a bit as a character, and then like it kind of shows a kind of hero side of the little kid, that like, you know, the guy who's been bullying him is about to die and he jumps in and saves him and stuff. And I was like, shit, like, you know, it kind of shows that this kid has what it takes to be a hero, you know. But for some reason they just got rid of the entire thing. It's crazy.
Tony being an asshole to that kid was my favorite part of the whole movie, bro. Like, quit being such a pussy. Yeah, dude, he drives off.
You know what I'm thinking right now? Where's my tuna sandwich?
yeah. I mean, I can see how they cut it, because I felt like that kid almost like was so out of place and slowed the movie down. Like the whole Tennessee, like, kind of really just felt out of place in the movie.
Yeah.
But still liked it for what it did for RDJ. Like, you know, one of the big hero moments that we're missing all the time now, where it's like, who are you without your suit? You know? Oh, I can still take people on. I'm still smart. I'm still clever. I still talk shit. It doesn't matter what's going on. But like the kid, I'm just like, why did we need the kid? Like, why was it a kid? Why didn't he just like find his way on his own? So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that kid's gonna be back. Obviously, I'd be shocked.
yeah.
Like, he'll be like Iron Lad or whatever.
Yeah, he was in Endgame, right? Like, he was in
he was at
the funeral scene.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Iron Lad's got to be a variant of King.
I mean,
Maybe from a different timeline it is, but not in ours. Maybe ours it's the kid. You know.
Grow up. In your timeline, there's 3 Spider-Mans as the timekeepers.
Well, that's our Earth 1, yeah. Prime Force.
I mean, having the kid in there, it of course it appeals to the kids, because then it's like, oh my god, Iron Man is talking to a kid. Maybe he'll talk to me in the future. Like, if I see him, maybe he'll talk to me. It's a really good appeal to the kids. It also shows that you know, he's able to kind of like build from like the ground up again, especially from like going into a garage and then seeing another kid who's aspiring to be an engineer like him. and really showing like, hey, I look up to you, man. Like, I think you're really cool. And especially when he mentions it during the like when they're in the town, when he's like, wasn't it crazy like that you went up into the sky and then like you had to get. And he's like, dude, don't talk about it. And like, because the kid doesn't know that he's going through stuff, and it's very humanizing at that point too. It really did a good job of showing like how messed up it made Tony to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I love the PTSD stuff. I thought that was like one of the best elements of the entire film because it made it real. Like, could you imagine what would happen if you went through a fucking wormhole and ended up at it like an alien base in space, and then your suit shuts down and you see a big explosion and you're just falling, the thing's like caving in. You're like, that's it, I'm done. I'm gonna be trapped in space forever, just floating through space. I'm dead. Like, if you lived that tale, like, you would never sleep again. Like, honestly, never.
I mean,
it's why the Marvel movies are so good. It's like they're humans, you know. It's why I like Marvel characters better than DC. Don't attack me, Finto. It's because they're based in realism, and they're based in having huge, deep flaws, not just like surface level ones. And that's what I love about it. It's like, you know, they didn't want to do the alcoholism with Tony Stark, right? Because that's a little.
Close to home.
Or DJ couldn't do that.
A little too close to home.
Yeah.
A little too close to home. So they do a whole PTSD thing, and it's just it really humanizes Iron Man, grounds him, and shows him like he's not invulnerable. You know, like and every MCU characters that's kind of sucked has been the ones who they don't really show any depth and any kind of struggle outside of, you know, fighting the end villain. Like, it's when they bring it down to like a personal level. It's why it's so good. It's why, like, in fucking Infinity War, when everyone hates Peter or hates Quill for like ruining the glove grabbing part. But it's so good because he's just human. Like, he's a fucking kid in that
so
moment.
Pissed.
Yeah, he's not an adult. He's a kid. He's never got to develop. He's so passionate.
Yeah, but that's like attacking somebody when they've got a shield up, and then, or you could wait 12 seconds for the shield to come down, and then you could actually kill them. Like, you know, I don't know.
He couldn't think straight in that moment.
I don't know.
But that's what I love, and that's what I love so much about the Incredible Hulk, especially with the movie, because when you go through his moments of when he was running away, when he's trying to keep away from everything, the shower, like a very quick shower scene of him like just trying to like cool down and just relax, and all of a sudden he stares at the shower head, and like all of a sudden he pictures like a rotating Gatling gun going at him, and he falls to the ground, and he's like I can't deal with this stuff. Like, it's so rough. Like, all I want to do is be left alone.
You're talking about the Edward Norton movie?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I've only ever seen that film twice, like since it first came out. I probably do need to watch it again.
In addition to Iron Man 3, I rewatched the Hulk in between, and I looked at a lot of the trivia.
I think I'm going to rewatch it just for Abomination, because we know he's going to be very prevalent in the future. So, I think I'll watch it for that, and obviously Ross as well.
I don't know if you sent it to me, Finto, or not. I saw this talk that was like this TikTok that was saying the saddest moments that we don't realize about the MCU, about how Steve Rogers would have had to see Natasha's body when he returned that stone. The last thing Thor ever said to Loki was, "You really are the worst brother ever."
Yeah.
Things like that. All these things.
All these things that just hit different when you're thinking about
them. And I was like, oh god.
I'm actually
That's not the last thing he said to him.
It was. I mean, he talked to his body.
Yeah, it is.
On screen, but like they fucking have they're on a spaceship for like a couple hours.
After that scene ended, if it doesn't happen on MCU time, it doesn't happen.
But like, they were on the ship when Thanos came and killed them. They set something there.
Yeah, no, but it's the very last thing he said to him.
If the MCU isn't filming it, there's just
he was going to give him
when he
handed him the Tesseract.
Yeah, when he hands him the Tesseract, thing says, "You really are the worst brother." Yeah, it's true. But like, I don't know. I really think, I absolutely think, talking about Natasha for a second, that I think there's a storyline out there, whether it's going to be variants or different timeline or whatever. But I really think there's a story where Steve goes back, gives back the Soul Stone, gets Natasha back, and the two of them are chilling on the moon. That's genuinely, I think it's coming.
Chilling on the moon?
Right.
Because you know all the talk of Steve being on the moon. He's in space with Natasha. Natasha is in space. Not the moon.
Isn't that just a fan theory?
I'm joking with the moon. But I genuinely...
It's hard to tell when you're joking with all your Spider-Man theories, okay? I don't know what's real with you or not.
They keep referencing Steve being on the moon in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I wouldn't be surprised if Natasha was with him and they were with, like, say, they come back in, like, Secret Invasion. It honestly would not surprise me at all, because we know Chris Evans is coming back. We know there was We know there was an alternative end shot for Black Widow. Now that news came out this week. There was an alternate ending, and basically when Yelena whistles at the very end at the grave, they shot a scene where there's a whistle back, so teasing that she is alive.
Natasha Romanoff just hanging out there for 3 years.
Just chilling.
Finally, you're back. Yeah.
She's just, her and Steve are just absolutely smashing, like. Fact.
Dude, how great would it be? It's like you'd have Sam Jackson and Sword. They're landing on some planet that Captain Marvel takes them to, and like old man Steve Rogers and Natasha are just walking off like the spaceship with them.
Yeah.
Like how fucking nuts would that be?
I'd
lose my mind.
I don't even think they're old. I think like Steve returned to the current timeline because he knows that he couldn't stay there for too long. I heard this as a theory, and it makes so much sense, bro.
I don't think returning the stone returns the life you sacrifice for the stone.
Soul for a soul.
Because otherwise,
soul for a soul.
Yeah.
Well, then, what if you get like a random roulette? What if it's like a random machine?
Get Gamora back instead.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for Steve. That's more exciting.
Yeah, that would be pretty. That'd be pretty interesting. I think Feige had officially said that once Steve returned the stone, that released Red Skull. So Red Skull has been released from his watch. So or is it when Thanos did it originally?
Yeah, see, that would make sense, soul for a soul, because then his soul gets to I feel like their soul has to, like, if their souls are trapped there forever, then it would only make sense that now it'd be Natasha guarding that would be the soul for the soul speech, Yeah. Or Gamora even.
Oh damn.
Interesting.
That'd be wild.
That would be kind of gangster if they showed up there in the future and Natasha's wearing a robe, like thugged out, like soft.
Yeah, just floating.
Yeah, like I think they're gonna do something to bring her back. Like she'll come back in 5 or 10 years, in some capacity to do something.
At the end of Florence's arc, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. They'll bring her back somehow. I love the idea of like Steve and her just reappearing back in like the current time, but going off with Fury or something, because obviously them and Fury, like you see it in the Winter Soldier, like they're all so close together, that inner circle of what's left of S.H.I.E.L.D. It would just make so much sense that they're off doing their own shit in space, and then it just like Secret Wars happens and boom, they're all back.
So I don't see how we get like young Chris Evans back. Like I just don't see anyone but old man Steve Rogers. I don't see how they make it happen.
I think the old man Steve Rogers was a Skrull. And just to throw everybody off, it's like,
no way, bro.
Yes, dude.
There's no way.
I hate the scroll. I hate the scroll. Get out of jail free card.
Yes.
And if they cash it in, it's gonna piss me off so hard.
It makes
between the multiverse and the scrolls, it's cheapening everything, bro.
Yeah, for me, it's enough to say that they're already there and that's an option that we even think about. But if they actually start cashing those in to be like, oh, scroll here, scroll there, they're gonna lose.
Get ready, bro. It's coming. They have a fucking TV show about it. It's happening.
By the way, Finto, I just posted something in Marvelous Chats about Secret Invasion. Emilia Clarke teased some stuff coming up, and there's also a video that comes with it.
How dare she tease stuff? Does she not know? Oh, I watched a bit of this interview.
She teased some sessions with an acting coach.
I watched a bit of this, and she was saying like, it's so intense working for Marvel, like trying to keep secrets and shit, and she feels like there's people watching her and stuff, like making sure she doesn't reveal any secrets and shit. I saw.
Yeah, she's an actress. Everyone's watching her.
Of course.
Well, I mean, in real life, I mean, she's like she feels like there's people hanging outside her house and all. It's kind of freaky.
Yeah, that's funny.
Do you want me to play?
Drogo.
Do you want me to play this now?
It's up to you, man.
Let's do it.
Where did you drop that? Oh, sorry, Marvelous Chats.
Marvelous Chats.
Yeah.
Just a podcast one, right above where we're at.
There is? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I saw your one, the Don Cheadle video.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, there's a kind of private
Don
one,
Cheadle's the bad guy in Space Jam, and it's hilarious.
Don Cheadle, man.
Don Cheadle versus LeBron.
Okay, here we go.
I turn you into a fucking tree.
I heard a review of Space Jam that said Don Cheadle seems like the only person in this movie that realizes what movie he's in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I haven't watched it. I don't know what that means, but I just love that as a comment.
Bro, they are shameless with using any and all WB property.
I saw
any and all.
I saw the clip of Michael B. Jordan in it. I was just like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I want to talk about
Can't
now
have Space
also
Jam without
the
Michael
Marvel,
Jordan. What do you mean?
Cinematic
Everybody
Universe.
get up.
You're now joining the Marvel Universe.
I'm really sad.
Uh,
I'm really sad,
with this-
and I don't know if this is a spoiler. Obviously, I don't think it is. I don't know if people were expecting, but I wanted Murray to show up.
Who?
So Bill Murray, bro.
Oh, we're talking about Space Jam still.
Yeah, I'm talking Space Jam. I want Bill Murray in the MCU. Fuck you mean?
Cool.
Honestly, sound like you want Bill Murray in the MCU fucking you. I thought you said me there. I swear to God, I was like,
Let's watch this
Bill-
Emilia
hey,
Clarke
listen.
video. We're in the cinema, guys. Shh, shh, shh. Phones off.
I want to talk about now also the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're now joining the Marvel
Where's she
Universe with this new miniseries. Or what can we say the name of it or no?
Well, okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we can say it's called Secret Invasion.
Okay.
But I'm already scared. Like the first people I spoke to from Marvel were their security team, and I am convinced there is a man outside my house. There's been a car parked there for a long time, and I swear to God, he's undercover.
Yeah, but I think they're like, well, you're also good at keeping good secrets for Game of Thrones, so like she's used to it.
That's what I thought, but they schooled me, and so I don't know what to do.
All right. I want to talk about now also the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're now joining the Marvel Universe.
What did she spoil? Sorry.
I don't think either.
I think she's just trying to like convey that she doesn't want to talk too much about like Secret Invasion.
So there's secrets in Secret Invasion. I
There's
see.
nothing to talk about yet. They don't
Yeah,
get this done.
no, she doesn't.
Oh,
know.
of course not.
She doesn't have a fucking clue.
Bro, I want to know how many.
It.
If she's got one car parked outside of her house, I wonder how many vans are outside of Tom's house, bro.
So many, dude.
This dude's got a full Secret Service detail.
What was the other news? You see the casting for in Wakanda Forever? That might be Storm.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
that was one of
I would be
my.
down for
They're
that.
gonna be Storm in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah,
Maybe, possibly.
Michaela Cole has been cast in the film. People are saying that she's very fitting to potentially play Storm. A lot of people want Storm. Some people are saying she could be a new female Black Panther, perhaps. But yeah, it's very up in the air. Like I don't even think she knows what she's doing yet. She has been cast, which is pretty cool. Did you see?
She looks stunning. She doesn't look like anybody I've ever seen before.
She's very unique looking,
Like-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Very
So,
unique.
which would be awesome for Storm having someone like that.
Yeah, I agree. Did you hear as well, talk about casting? I saw something about, now, my girlfriend actually said this to me, but she said she read it somewhere. Now, I don't know how accurate it is or whatever, but apparently there's talks of Anna Kendrick joining Marvel. I don't know in what
Anna
capacity.
Kendrick?
Yeah.
Anna Kendricks.
I don't know. I don't know in what capacity or whatever, but apparently she's
Squirrel Girl.
She's coming in somewhere.
Oh my God! If it was Squirrel, dude, you don't even kid with Squirrel Girl. I love Squirrel Girl. Squirrel
Dude,
Girl.
look at her.
dude,
She looks like a fucking squirrel.
and fine, cast her. Do it. Like, I would love that. I love Squirrel Girl. I remember I jokingly told my girlfriend, I said, I bet you anything Squirrel Girl's defeated Doctor Doom. And so I decided to look it up, and I'm like, oh shit, she did.
Yeah, listen, Michi's out of me right now, but Anna Kendrick is like, listen, if she walked up to me today, sorry, Mich.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Listen, Meech has hers. If Jennifer Aniston walked up, I would let
Game over?
Meech even said, like, me and Meech share Jennifer Aniston, and then she likes that Milo dude that was in Heroes. He's got a hair lip. He's not a threat. Fuck that.
Hey,
dude.
have you seen This Is Us?
guy, he was in
Milo's
Heroes.
jacked, bro. Milo's
Milo,
jacked.
he's in that This Is Us or
He's
something?
jacked. He's jacked. You want to be afraid, bro.
I'm not afraid, bro.
You should be afraid, bro.
Hero
He's the most
kicked his
powerful.
ass.
He's the most powerful mutant in that show. He's the best.
Nah,
He is the
whack,
best hero.
bro.
He's the best hero.
He's whack.
He has the. I fucking love that show, man. First 3 seasons of Heroes was so. fucking
Dude,
good,
I can't believe the show got canceled on a cliffhanger too.
But they brought it
Googling,
back like 10 years later, and they made like
And
a
it
revival.
was
Oh, it was
trash.
so shit. It was so shit. There wasn't one original hero in the show except for the dad, and I was like, oh, this is ass. But the first 3 seasons of that show were so fucking good. Like, I just
Yeah.
loved your man Peter. I loved his power. Like, he literally just absorbed anybody's abilities that he met.
Oh, yeah.
So he just became so fucking powerful.
That's what ruined the show, though.
But I liked Skyler. I liked the dude
he was
that played the bad guy.
Zachary Quinto. He
Yeah,
was like
he is
the
a really good villain.
Best fucking villain. He was like, for years, he was like my favorite villain in anything. He was so incredible. That show's so good. I actually own every episode of it except for the new shit one. I've got the box set of the original. I got the original box set on Blu-ray. I'm actually gonna crack it out.
Dude, I love that cliffhanger that they ended on too. I remember being so hyped. Like, I remember being like watching that was one of the shows I would watch every week as it came out.
Yeah, it was so good, dude. So
out of its time, really
good. Yeah, it really was. Really was. So fucking good.
They missed the mark by like 4 years.
Yeah, true.
Dude, you know who I want in the MCU? That who did Arnold Schwarzenegger play when he was the action figure hero? I want him.
Huh?
What is that?
Wait,
what was that movie
again?
called? Arnold
Wait,
Schwarzenegger. He played that movie with Sinbad. Yeah.
Oh, Jingle All the Way.
Turbo Man.
Yo, Turbo Man.
Jingle All the Way.
I want
Jingle All the
Turbo
Way.
Man in the MCU.
Put the cookie down. No.
Those are my cookies.
Yeah.
I
What's
love
going
it.
on? Jingle All the Way has come up like 3 times in this week of mine, and I don't know what's happening.
Really?
It means you gotta watch it, bro. It's
You
it's,
need to watch
it's,
it.
It's so
it's
good.
a sign. It's a sign from above. You
You
gotta
need to buy
watch it,
yourself
dude.
a Turbo Man, bro.
Have you
So
never
good.
watched? Have you never watched Jingle All the Way?
I've seen it, yeah, but
Okay.
like I saw it when I was a kid, and
And I had no
don't
intention to
remember
watch it
anything.
after.
Yeah, no, it's so good, dude. It's a great movie. Am I right in thinking is it the kid who played Anakin Skywalker is his son in it, or am I thinking of a different kid actor? I can't remember now.
I believe it is.
Yeah. Yeah, shit, he went downhill. Holy, that poor kid. That poor kid had some fucking real life shit happen to him. Like, that was crazy.
Dude, he went to jail.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, he fucking, like, that was like, you know,
He got bullied from playing Anakin so bad that it made him get into drugs, bro.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
I
the
can
epiphany
believe
of don't let your kids be actors, like, you know.
Hey,
Like,
listen,
wait
he
till
just
they
needs
grow
to take a
up.
lesson. Just
Or
take a
put 'em
lesson
in
from
private
Frankie.
schools afterwards.
Nah, just take a lesson from Frankie and forget it all, bro. Literally.
Yeah, true. I feel so
Whack
sorry.
it all
I
out.
feel so sorry for Frankie Muniz. You know, he sits back and watches. He watches that
How
show,
scary
and he's
would
never seen it before in his head.
Exactly.
He doesn't
How
remember any
scary
of
would
it.
that be?
Brian Cranston.
so bad.
Brian Cranston emails like texts him all the time and emails him and all, and would be like,
Like,
you
who
know,
are you, stranger?
he'd be like, oh, you know, just sharing so many great memories with him, trying to make him remember stuff and all. Like, that's fucking scary shit, man. So
Yeah.
so scary.
Hashtag free Britney, bro.
Oh, speaking of casting more people into Marvel, do you think we could fit Bryan Cranston anywhere?
Yeah,
Yeah, I want him as a
absolutely.
villain. He has to be a
Norman
villain.
Osborn. Norman
Okay.
Osborn. Boom.
I
Right.
like William
All right,
Dafoe
you
so
sold
much
me.
as of
You
Norman
sold me. I'm
Osborn.
down with that.
I like
Six-
William Dafoe there.
Yeah, he's going to be in it as well, but the 616, our version of Norman, is
Okay,
Bryan,
yeah.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Boom.
Bryan Cranston.
Done.
Oh my god,
Done.
that
Next.
would be sick.
Who could he be?
Dude, you can make him a Doctor Doom.
Doom
an
would be
older
good.
Doctor Doom.
Is that who
Dude,
I
Doom
picked
would be
for-
great.
I feel like I picked him for Professor X.
Yeah, he'd be a good X as
Like-
well if you had him like
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Walter
Yeah,
Wa-
yeah, I
Walter
remember-
Whited out.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude,
I
that'd
am
be
the
good.
threat.
Yeah.
I'm the one who knocks on the door.
Logan, we have to cook.
You just hear the wheelchair bumping into the door. Hey, someone get that?
Oh, dude, so good. I heard a whisper as well that apparently Wesley Snipes could potentially be appearing in the Blade
no way.
movie as a Blade variant. Boom.
No,
What
we
if
have to
he-
stop. We have to
Dude,
fucking stop with this.
Are
they gonna have?
We
It's
have
it's
to
gonna
stop, bro.
I have a question.
much.
Is
No, sorry,
Whistler
it's gonna
canon?
happen.
Apologies,
Like,
apologies.
we're gonna see all kinds of crazy shit.
Apologies, it's not actually in the it's not actually in the Blade movie. It'll be in Multiverse of Madness.
Is
Okay.
Whistler canon in the Blade
Dude.
comics?
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
Is-
as
is-
far as I know, yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can totally.
What's
Yeah.
his name that played Whistler in the first one? Because I can't.
Chris
I don't
Christopherson.
know. Yeah, I fucking
Legend.
yes.
Legend, bro. Legend. Oh, so good, dude.
One of my favorite
And
parts.
also, speaking of casting, there's a rumor that Vincent D'Onofrio is expected to reprise his role as Wilson Fisk /
Yep.
Kingpin
I've
in the
talked
upcoming series Hawkeye.
Yeah, I saw that. That only just went up, but I did see it was kind of confirmed a little while ago that he has signed on for projects, both movie and TV, and I think his first appearance will be Hawkeye. Like Hawkeye, I think
Dude.
they're gearing it up. It's going to be something big. Like I think people are thinking it's going to be a kind of shit series, but I think it's going to be fucking the best one out of them.
I hope it's fire.
Yeah, I think so. Because as well, if you've got Kingpin, you're definitely going to have. Because I heard rumors as well that we were going to get Matt Murdock, and now the Matt Murdock rumors make even more sense. Because if you've got fucking Kingpin, you got to have Daredevil. Amen.
God.
Yeah. Amen.
I mean, he'd
think
be
that's
perfect in Spider-Man. Like, you
So
know,
good.
Daredevil's there. Like,
Yeah.
just throw him in.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think Kingpin.
Freaky.
I think you could get a Kingpin in Far From Home, like just a little tiny reference to his existence, or a shot of him in prison or something. I think you get like
Yeah.
maybe an after credit scene. You just see the bald head or something like that. Like I think that fits so well because like Kingpin is such an enemy of Spider-Man as well. You know, like it's Spider-Man and Daredevil are the two guys who he battles with the most. Like. In anything I've seen anyway, so I just think it's perfect to have the two of them together. And then if you have Matt Murdock showing up in Spider-Man to represent him in court or something like that, then the two of them team up later on down the line to fucking take out Kingpin. Whew. There's your Spider-Man.
Now, Drunky.
Oh,
Mizuki's in the thrall of Daredevil now. You guys got a minute. Apparently,
yeah, he's loving it. He's loving it.
Yeah.
He's loving it. Yeah, he's fucking 10 years. He's 10 years too late. It's incredible.
So, Drunky, I was,
you still not
I was
seen it,
wondering,
Kyle?
for
Pause 1 second.
What?
Kyle, have you
Yeah,
watched
sure.
it yet? You watched Daredevil?
Yeah, I watched Iron Man 3 this week, dude. That's what we're talking
Daredevil,
about,
bro. Have you
Yeah,
watched
I
it?
watched Iron Man 3 this week.
You're fucking.
Kyle, you're not going to be
Meech.
ready for Spider-Man.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you
I'm
now.
gonna
I'm
be
telling
ready.
you now. You need to be. You need to be ready.
I've been-
100%. I think you
I-
take
I
any
can
free time you have in the
ninja
next
so-
week. Any free time you have in the next week, I think you and Meech sit down and just watch the first 3 episodes, and you'll be
should
hooked.
go to Arizona
That's it.
in a week,
Game
bro.
over. Hooked.
That's the
Perfect. You'll have a
problem.
ton of time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Netflix,
I'm gonna
Netflix,
binge on my own.
Netflix is
I
everywhere.
binge
Bro.
like no other.
It's
Well,
everywhere.
yeah, you said you and me. I'm not gonna set up a cross country wash session.
Why
I'm just gonna binge on my own.
Why not?
I'll binge on my own.
So
Oh,
Avenger.
Cross-country wash.
more of the rumors.
What?
Henry Cavill is rumored to have met with Marvel in London this week.
For Captain Britain.
Hell yeah.
He
And-
should be Union Jack, not Captain Britain. Union Jack's so much a cooler character.
And more Captain news as well. Multiverse of Madness. I think we're getting a live action version of Captain Carter with your woman who plays Peggy Carter. Live action version. What's her name? Haley something or other. Can't remember her name.
A live action Captain Carter.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I-
That'd be a cool way to tie What If in to make
Yeah.
to highlight to people, hey, What If is like part of this universe.
It
like,
is canon.
be ready.
Yeah, 100%. I think they need to do shit like that. I think that would really, really be good.
I do think they got to be careful though, because I'll be honest with you, one of the problems I do have with Marvel Comics and comics as a whole is when they start getting into too many different universes, too many different versions of the same character, too many different storylines. It kind of makes you fall out with it, and I think the movies could like teeter into that with all this nonsense going on.
I think if they do it in a short enough space of time, I think it works as a kind of one-off, like they do one-shots of these things, and I think that really pops. So if you do What If, it's kind of the animated platform, and you know that'll have its own fan base and stuff like that. But I think then if you have Multiverse of Madness, like if you can picture sitting down in the cinema and watching Multiverse of Madness, and you get like Hugh Jackman, you get fucking Captain Carter, you get like all these different Spider-Men, you get like Patrick Stewart as Professor X, like everything, just a nod to all the fucking greats, and then maybe then whatever event happens, and then maybe he resets it or he cements in a main timeline or something like that, and then maybe we have a few characters that stay around that aren't too big, like, you know. I think that's the way it works, I think, you know. But I don't think you can't have Captain Carter hanging around for fucking 3 films. Like, you know, you give her 10 minutes on the screen and it's everyone fucking go whoa, throwing their popcorn around the place because they're just excited to see her, and then that's it, she's gone. He bounces to the next reality, you know.
How do you guys watch movies over there? What the hell?
Bro,
No,
any
popcorn.
any
I don't
fucking
even have popcorn past the trailers. I fucking eat all that.
any of these like crazy like reaction scenes I see, like they're all in America, bro. Like all these people like screaming and going crazy when like Captain America comes on the screen and stuff. Yeah, it's hilarious.
We don't know how to watch movies over here. We're hooligans. My favorite is like when people like clap, like, great, bro.
Yeah.
Like, who are we clapping at?
Yeah,
who are we clapping at?
Yeah, well done, director. Well done. It's like he's not here.
No. I fucking don't get it.
Yeah.
Finto, have you seen any of the news about Into the Spider-Verse 2?
I haven't actually.
So I found an update saying that Jake Johnson is in talks to reprise his role as Peter B. Parker in
Nice.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2.
I like it.
Shemaiah Moore, who is Miles Morales, and Haley Steinfeld, which is Spider-Gwen, are already confirmed to return,
Boom.
with Issa Rae joining the cast as Spider-Woman.
Nice. I saw the Spider-Woman news, all right. Did you know, fun fact, that they tried to get Tobey Maguire to play Peter B. Parker, but they actually couldn't get him to sign a contract. So they were going to get him to actually, because
That's crazy.
that's who the
I
voice.
love Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, he's a legend, bro. Like that's Peter B. Parker is Tobey's Spider-Man. Like it's
course.
it's factual.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's him. Like so that.
You saw him dancing, and it was like,
Yeah,
okay, that's him.
like you saw all the scenes, like any of the flashbacks when the way they do all their like intros, they do like the comic intros of each one, like every single scene that you see in that is just animated clips from like remakes from the Sam Raimi universe. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been so good if they actually got him to do it, and I'm surprised he didn't do it because I'm sure he would have got paid quite well, and he obviously did a bit of animation like work. He has done it in the past. Like he's in that movie, Boss Baby. My fucking little lad was obsessed with watching that movie for about a year. Like I watched it about 30 times. Like, and Toby plays the dad in it. Like, and he's actually so good in it. Like, it's brilliant. His voice is perfect for animation. Like, it's fantastic. Like, so I'm really surprised he didn't do it in the end because like Peter B. Parker doesn't even have that big of a role in that film. Like, he could have probably smashed out all those lines in like a week, bro, and got a really good payday out of it. And then
So speaking of,
go on.
oh, go ahead and finish.
I was just going to say, if you imagine if he actually did take that role and where we are now, how much the Into the Spider-Verse would even slap more because you've actually got Toby in talks now. Whew.
So this is where I wanted to kind of lead into for another trivia thing. So I found out that Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposedly thought for the role of Hulk in 1977.
Nice.
And the only reason that he wasn't cast was because he was 3 inches shorter than Lou Ferrigno.
Wow. That's cool.
So, yeah, Schwarzenegger is 6'2", Lou Ferrigno's 6'5".
And could you imagine, like, how... Because obviously, if you're into that sort of thing, like the bodybuilding and stuff, you know that Ferrigno and
They're
Schwarzenegger they were enemies at that time, bro, because that was around the time they were all doing, like, Mr. Universe and shit. So,
and that's the thing.
I had to have made it so much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is Lou Ferrigno actually toned down his body for Hulk because he didn't want to be identified by him.
Yeah.
Like as Hulk, but it didn't work.
That's so funny.
Bro, Lou Ferrigno Hulk, top 3.
He's
great.
big.
He's
big.
It's like the green paint. Like
I loved it.
Yeah.
I love it.
There was no CGI back then, bro. That was all Ferrigno with just a bit of green paint.
There's probably super toxic lead and silver base paint or something, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
Slather
me up, baby.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm trying to see what else have I not talked about. I heard a cool theory, so I don't know if you guys have thought about what they're going to do with Chadwick Boseman's whole arc and stuff, and how they're going to do Wakanda Forever. Because I know, like, Feige has turned around and said, like, they're going to pay homage to the actor and the character, and I was listening to a discussion on it there the other day, and people were kind of throwing theories out of what they think is going to happen. Maybe they think that what's the Aquaman fella's name and thing? Namor.
Jason Momoa.
No, Namor's going to come in and kill him, and then everyone's going to hate him. But then it turns out that he gets framed, and like there's all these different theories going around. And one of them that I heard, which actually fucking slaps, I think, is. So, in the first movie where he basically dies, but they use the flower to bring him back, someone was saying that what if, like, the flower actually only, like, revived him, but didn't actually fully cure him, so he was, like, on borrowed time. So then, as the events between the first and second movie happen, and kind of this mirrors of what actually happened to him in real life, it's like he's kind of struggling and he knows he's dying and so on, but he's keeping a straight face and stuff about it. And then it's like, okay, actually, something drastic happens then in the movie. You just find out that they just announced that he's just dropped dead suddenly and then they find out that, like, he wasn't revived properly. I think that I think that works, bro. I think it works. Because I just don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, there's so many different ways you can do it, and there's the fact that Feige has said that they're going to do it by paying, like, paying homage to the character. It's like I don't know how they do that, like, you know.
Did he film anything for
either.
for Wakanda Forever before he passed, or no?
I don't think so.
I didn't know
think
if
so.
they were gonna do kind of like what they did on the Fast and Furious, where like they had some that he filmed, they CGI'd them in some, and then
I don't
did
think
it that
so.
way?
I don't think so. I think What If was the last thing that he did, right? Like, and I think there was a film. I think his last live action thing was it that film Bridges or something that he's in? I think that was the last thing he actually physically shot, as far as I know.
Are they still using his performance in What If? Do you think?
I don't, they are apparently,
Okay.
and I said this. I know Drunky emailed me about this because he was rewatching it, and I had said that like someone's doing a shit Chadwick impression or something, but it actually is him. So I feel real bad. I retract that statement. I did not mean what I said. I apologize, but it doesn't sound like Chadwick Boseman to me. It sounds like somebody trying to be Chadwick Boseman. That's I don't know.
No,
Maybe was he
just
very
trying to
ill?
defend his legacy, and maybe we got to give you a pass.
Yeah, I think I deserve a pass because like, he does sound very different, and I'm wondering when I think about it more. I'm like, was he very ill? Was he like recording it in his house? You know, kind of instead of a studio or something. Like, you know, I think something was going on real world wise, or maybe he was going through chemo and stuff, and maybe his voice is like just changed or something. You wouldn't know, like. But yeah, I don't know. I like that idea though about the flower kind of partly restoring him, but not full time.
I think it works, but like I don't see where you go with the story. Like, how does that push the story forward at all?
Well, it's just it's like the real world. It's exactly like what happened in the real world. His death just happens so suddenly in the film, and everyone's just completely blown away and shocked by it. It's like, whoa, hang on, he was sick. We didn't even know. Nobody knew. We thought he was cool. And I just think, that happens in the film, and then it's like, and then it's like
they'll be able to act really well off that.
Someone has to just step in, fill the mantle, and it's shock and awe. Like, I think it works.
I think that would be a really sentimental way of
I think
finishing
so too.
it up too, because like if you really think about it, a lot of the population did not know that he was actually sick. So in order to start this up,
nobody knew.
Yeah.
Marvel didn't know.
Not even his coworker. Yeah,
Marvel didn't know.
I sent Finto a picture of this. Drunky and Alex, have you guys heard about the book called The Wakanda Files?
Yeah.
So apparently,
I think so.
Yeah, it's this book that came out. It's a hardback, and you get like this little bead that looks like one of the beads that from Wakanda, and it's like a black light that you use to decode the book. And apparently, it's like a collection of all of his sister's research, and they've got things in there. The thing I sent to Finto, let me read it to you really quick. It's really cool. It's talking about how like they sent like messages like they have in here. Okay, that said, the book makes it seem like Tony Stark was already aware of the multiverse, and an encrypted message he sent to Bruce Banner where he says, Tony writes, altering events of the past could never affect the continuous loop, though it could create tangential split timelines. He quickly follows that up with, let's not worry about the time being right. One reality at a time for all of our sanity. So it's got all this like little encrypted communications back and forth. It's got all these little Easter eggs for the universe. So that'd be really cool. I think we should maybe look into one of us getting that. And
can you just buy it? I guess.
I think
where is it for sale?
I think it's on Amazon.
Is it?
It's called The Wakanda Files, and I'm pretty sure it comes with like a little bead that
black
lights
light
up.
or something.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That you look for like.
Well, like it was mentioned in Infinity War when Stark is having his first conversation with with Doctor Strange, and it's referenced. He's like, "I'm trying to save your reality, dumbass," or whatever he says to him. So it's like, obviously Strange is very aware of alternate realities, 100%.
If you throw the link somewhere, I'd like to take a look as well.
Here, I'll throw it up in the chat. Yes.
Yep.
A long ass link. But it comes with. It might even come with like 3 little lights.
How dare you?
Yeah, we'll see how they treat the timeline and the multiverse. I read an article, or I read a headline. I don't read articles because I'm a normal person.
Somebody summarize it into a tweet for me, please.
Yeah, where like Kevin Feige had to have like all hands-on meeting for all the writers and stuff and directors on how and set up like the multiverse rules like officially, because there's been like just people like kind of doing their own thing because there hasn't been like a guiding book behind it.
Yeah.
So hopefully like that kind of works out and they set up like actual rules, because I'm still so goddamn confused about the multiverse and how the timelines work. And like I know they got little things they say they explain, but I feel like you poke them a little bit, they start to fall apart. Like none of it makes sense, and I fucking hate it, dude. Like I can't stand being inside of this multiverse right now.
I really think that what they will do is they'll dumb it down for the standard audience. Like they have to.
Please,
they have to.
I need it.
They have to, and they will. They'll do they dumb everything down. Like, you know what I mean? Like even when they start I thought they did it quite well when they're trying to explain time travel in Endgame. You know, and they. I think is it Ant-Man that's having a problem, or not Ant-Man? Someone's having a problem with understanding it, and they kind of dumb it down a bit. I think the way that they kind of do it is intelligent. Because you know they don't make people feel, they don't make the audience feel stupid, but at the same time they do need to explain it, like the whole Back to the Future shit and all. But yeah, I think they'll clearly put like the base rules out, and I think it'll actually happen in maybe Spider-Man, where you know we'll get the first kind of big break of the multiverse, and I think you'll actually probably hear a conversation with Doctor Strange where he's gonna actually explain what's going on in the rules and all this sort of shit. I think we'll actually get that on screen. Yeah, I think we will.
Because like. This whole deal that like we're on the continuous timeline, and then like the He Who Remains gets there, and he's like, I don't know what happens after this part. It's a flowing timeline. Yeah. But then we have like people coming in from the past and from the future to this null space. I'm like, where is all this? How has Sylvie been alive, and how was she purged before our Loki was even a thing? Like that type of stuff. Like I'm like, how? Explain this to me, please. Like, how is this a continuous timeline? But this Loki comes before this Loki. How like I'm just
I always struggle to find the starting point. It's like anytime I try to really think about time travel, it confuses the shit out of me. And I think the whole Terminator thing is like, you know, it's like John Connor sends his father back to protect his mother, and that's how he's born. But it's like, how did he send him back in the first place? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, who sent him back first?
Yeah,
you know, it's like that shit.
It's fun. Just don't think about it.
Yeah, this shit drives me bananas, bro. I hate it so much.
Like when I was a kid, it was easier, but now that I'm an adult,
yeah,
like, dude,
you're trying to think about it.
Time travel.
I remember like my uncles and grandparents thinking how like, oh, that's dumb. That like, why are you watching this stuff? And now that I'm older and I see Loki and I get really upset, like I'm just like, what is this? Why would you even watch this? Yeah, it's like I'm a boomer now. Like I'm there. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Like this is so dumb.
Back.
You know, like if you think about it, that's how it is. Yeah, you're all grown up now. We all suck.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, God. We didn't have time travel.
Magneto was
was
defeated by a wooden gun. What are you talking about now?
Yeah.
We had to watch 23 movies before we got one
glass gun. Excuse you, it was glass.
It was
in the TV series. It was a wooden gun.
Touche.
It was one timeline back in my day. They didn't have any of these contract things with Sony and Fox. It's so funny that, like, you know, if Marvel was in a really healthy spot, we wouldn't have any of these problems, because they wouldn't have sold off the properties for all these fucking characters, and we would have just had one universe from the beginning.
They needed money.
It's
the hard part.
Well, true. Yeah.
This is why it cracks me up. All these people on YouTube talking about how bad the comic book industry is doing, how they're gonna collapse. I'm like, don't you like? Yeah, dude. Like, it's the comic book industry. You don't remember when they sold off everything to stay alive? Like, people don't read comic books like they used to. It's just it's a bloated industry that doesn't make sense anymore. Like, but it's fun.
It's still always going to be around though, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
like I buy
going back to being small and indie, which is cool.
I buy 30 comic books every month, like, you know, and I'm never going to stop. That's just the way it is. Yeah, 100%.
Where do you keep your collection?
Finto. I need to know this too.
I have
an address.
I actually have, you know, the long boxes, the storage boxes. I think I have about I think I have about 7 of them now, and I think 5 of them are full. So,
bro, I had a long
all
box
single issues
that was from a neighbor. This is before I was even in the comics. This is when I was like 6 or 7, right? And it was like,
look.
Dude,
they're everywhere.
Long backs have like old Ghost Riders and stuff. I can only imagine this thing has some unique stuff in there, and I just kind of was like, all right.
Look at that fucking cover.
Amazing.
Look at that cover.
Oh yeah, dude.
Woo!
Fuck yeah.
That's a one shot. That's a one shot series. It's called Batman Urban. It's him and Red Hood just going around fucking shit up. Bro, I have literally.
You have 80 Batmans you haven't read yet.
I have so many, bro. It's not even funny. I have a stack of like comics that I leave right here, and I haven't read any of them yet. Honestly, I'm sitting on about 200 comics that I need to read. Like, it's crazy. I just need to. I have no time. Like, it's so annoying. But at the same time, I want to collect them because I don't want to break the series now. Because solidly collecting the likes of Batman, Superman, Green Arrow, Flash, all these people. I've been solidly for the entire since the beginning of Rebirth. I jumped on at the reboot stage, and I have every comic in the run. So
someone gave me advice a long time ago saying that, like, if you want to keep your comics pristine, just leave them in the wrapping, and if you want to read them, you buy trade backs.
Yeah. So I read my comics once, and then they go. I have a sleeve. I have like a sleeve, and then a paper, like a cardboard back. And then they get sealed up and they never get opened again. So it's literally one and done. But
yeah, that's perfect.
When you buy them, they just come standard. So I have to buy sleeves and backs every single time. And throughout when the pandemic started, they ran out of backs and sleeves in Ireland, and I had to go about 6 months with none. And I was fucking stressing out so much because I literally kept them in like boxes, and I didn't even open the box because I didn't even want to like bend a comic at all or anything. Like I'm trying to keep them as pristine as possible. Because I'm thinking like this is my retirement plan. This is my fucking my pension fund. But like comic books will never they'll never go down in value. Like they'll always sell for at least the face value. So you know you're either gonna make the money back that you invested originally, or you're gonna go up. Like it's one or the other. There's no like comics never sell for more than the face value ever. And like
I'm so shocked that they never did like an MCU run inside of Marvel. Where it's like these are comic books that tie into the MCU, and they put it under the MCU branding in comic books. I'm shocked they never did that.
I swear they did that.
I think there is. I think there's as far as I know, there's prequel comic runs to all the Spider-Man movies, the Tom Holland ones.
I didn't know that. See, but I'm saying like the whole thing, like get Chris Evans to give you the buy his rights, RDJ, like all the royalties, and just tie those directly into it.
Yeah, I think
you'd be selling.
Yeah, I could have sworn they did it at some point.
Yeah, publication date was in 2008. There's only about 4 issues so far. It's called the Marvel Cinematic Universe tie-in comic books.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything official, but
they're more like one-offs for the movies?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there's like Iron Man 2, Public Identity, Captain America, First Vengeance.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think they should have done like long series for these, where they just are able to tell all these little stories.
To be honest, like that's what got me into comic books because I was obsessed with the Green Arrow TV show when it first came out back in like 2012, and the first comics that I ever started collecting was between seasons 1 and 2. DC did a comic run, and I was like, I have to read this. I have to stay in like I have to know everything that happens in the show. And I started collecting. I started trying to find them online and buy them, and then I ended up finding a comic book shop here in Dublin. And now, like the owner of the shop knows me by name because I buy so much off them. So like they have like a pull list for me. So they have the list of every single comic that I want or will want in the future. And when the comics come in, they keep one aside for me, and then I go in every Sunday and just pick up the comics. Like it's crazy. It's amazing.
So Drunky, are you saying that you're okay with tie-ins as far as like novels and comics and whatnot?
Oh, yeah.
I know that in terms of let's say World of Warcraft, I've read some of the books that prelude like Shadowlands and whatnot, and some of the people that go into the game, they see that these occurrences happen and they're like, when the hell did this happen? And it turns out like you got to read the book or the comic in order to get into it. How do you feel about that? Like when it gets to that point where you're playing a video game or you're watching a movie and you didn't even realize something occurred that apparently you had to read.
I think Halo did good.
Yeah, I think the problem becomes when, like, let's say you have like the key property, right? Where like the MCU movies would be like the key property, and having these little tie-ins from like comic books or regular books or whatever it is. If they inform those, it's awesome. It's when they become required that it kind of sucks. And it's kind of the thing that they're trying to do with Disney Plus is walk that line where they're not required viewing, but they'll enhance your viewing. Like you're like, oh, that comes from this.
Yeah.
But if they start like really making it to where you have to read this, which is I think part of where comics goes wrong is when they have these big events and they're like, yeah, this event is happening over 15 different series. You have to get all the comics to see what's going on. I'm like, yeah, or I could just not read it, and that would be fucking even better.
Yeah. Just watch just listen to a YouTube video of someone reviewing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where I like, if they can find the balance where like the key property always stays whole, and if you could just watch that and not lose anything, it's perfect. but I really like it. I like reading extra little books.
Yeah.
You know, reading the Star Wars books made the trilogy better. The sequel trilogy. I can't even get my words right. Like, it made it better because they explained some dumb shit that, like, you know, writers would actually think about instead of some director who's like, bro, wouldn't it be cool if we just had like fucking a whole bunch of spaceships come up from underground that are fully staffed by people? Like, that'd be a fucking cool scene, right? Like, the books actually get into like why they would do that, you know?
The novelizations of those Star Wars movies are epic. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you follow Star Wars Theory on YouTube, but he literally has videos of just breaking down each of these books. Like, so he'll go into like very big depth on like, say, Return of the Jedi or whatever, or like Revenge of the Sith, the book for it. He even had a podcast where he brought on the author of the book, and just they went into some fucking deep detail of shit that just wasn't in the movie, and it makes so much more sense. Like, obviously they can't put everything in to the movie, like they have like time restrictions and when people are going to stop paying attention and so on, so they have to make it work. But yeah, there's like some of these Star Wars novels are incredible.
Yeah,
I'd love that for DC, for Marvel. I would love that. Like, imagine going into more deep detail. That would be crazy.
If they do it like Alex was mentioning, like with the WoW universe, where sometimes lore literally is you can't understand it without that knowledge, it kind of makes it like less appealing, because it's like, I don't want to have homework. I just want to be able to either play this game or watch this movie and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And then if I want extra credit, then cool. But I don't want homework. I just want extra credit. And I think if anyone here's ever read the Halo books and you look into those, like, we all love Master Chief or whatever, but then you get into Halo books and you actually see who he was before you see his origin stories, and you see some of these missions and some of these other things that happened all well before the games, and it just enhances it all for you and gives you that extra credit feeling, as opposed to that, like, man, I didn't do the homework and I'm behind everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And I think, like, having some sort of preview or previously helps it a bit, or at least advertising, like, you know, something that says like, oh man, there was more lore within these books or something, like, kind of showing that, like, you have to dig a little bit if you want to know a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if it's crucial points,
it's got to be in the
like
movie.
Yeah. And this is like, I'm gonna make an example on World of Warcraft. So in Before the Storm, which was the prequel to Battle for Azeroth, there was a moment where a main character got killed, and in the game they're back, and but, like, you wouldn't know who the hell they are unless you read the book.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a moment where this goblin and gnome, who have been married before, they get caught in with, like, some thugs, and there's a bomb that's about to go off, and the bomb's about to explode, and then you hear nothing about it. Yeah. And then you go into Battle for Azeroth, you find out that they're, like, on an island somewhere. Like,
that's great.
They made it, well, like, but that's a cool little tidbit for me because I read it. But, like, for other people, it's like, who the hell are these people?
Yeah,
who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about, and I didn't care about any of that. It's literally just did the quest to get them over with, and then I did PvP and sleep.
It was cool to see them, though.
It's actually kind of like what they did with the Netflix Marvel stuff, with Daredevil, because you know the way Daredevil season 2 ends, and it's like one of the best seasons ever, and you're kind of like, this was incredible. And then Defenders happens, and obviously Matt Murdock's in that show as well. And then something happens at the very end of the show where you think he's dead, but then the start of season 3 of Daredevil starts, and like he's fine, like he's fucked up, he's in a bed recuperating. But if you went from season 2 to season 3, you'd be like, what the fuck happened to him? You know what I mean? you wouldn't have a clue, like. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, yeah, again, like that's kind of something similar where, you know, you've got a bit of extra content or an extra 8 episodes of a different TV show that you need to watch to see what happens to this character. So it's a dangerous game, you know. But you know, because a lot of people hated that Defender show, but they love Daredevil. So it's like, I'm not gonna watch that fucking bullshit because I hear it's terrible.
Right.
But then they start season 3 a year later or whatever of Daredevil, and it's like, where's this story picking up? Because the last I saw of him, he saved the day and he's all cool, and it's like now he's dying, like he's on the brink of death in a bed, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? You know, because I went and watched it. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say that when it comes to you guys mentioning how Star Wars was saying like, oh, what if we mentioned stuff like this, like on the underground of these technical workers and whatnot. That's what I love so much about What If series, because it's mostly just like, what if this happened, what if that. It doesn't tie into like the timeline itself. It's just those little tidbits of like, what if, well, what if Carter took the serum? What if Spider-Man became Sorcerer Supreme? What if Spider-Man became the Punisher? Like stuff like that. It's little fun little tidbits. It's not necessary to the main plot of the story. It's just cool little things. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yep.
Have you seen what they're doing for the next Avatar movie? So apparently for the next Avatar movie, they're going to have the events of that film. I believe there's a second film which they've shot at the same time as well. I believe he's done 2 in a row. So it's going to be like split across 2 movies, but it's like they've been shooting it for years. But apparently there's going to be like a kind of DLC for the movie that takes place in one of the parks, so either Universal or fucking one of these places in America, and you actually have to
Animal Kingdom, baby.
You actually have to go and throw on like a fucking VR headset and actually walk into the world, and how you experience the end of this story arc is actually by physically going and being part of it. Like that is cool. Crazy.
Okay, we're gonna need you to leak that all for us. Appreciate it.
The Avatar stuff at Animal Kingdom is some of the coolest shit. The ride's amazing. The way you feel when you walk in there, it's like it blows you away.
Yeah, I'd say
what they're able, like you have floating islands, and so I'm down for it, bro. I'm down for that type of stuff.
I love it. I just obviously hate the fact I live on the other side of the world and it's not accessible to me. So yeah, I will. I will.
You can sleep in my car. I got you.
No, I love shit like that. I think that's like it's gimmicky, obviously, but it's just very technologically cool, and obviously you want to be a part of it unless you're just not into any of that sort of shit at all. Like if you're not a cinema fan or a technology fan, you're obviously not going to give a shit. But for me, I do.
There's a side note for that. Like the Avatar stuff here, they got a ride where you're on the back one of those flying things,
Oh yeah.
And one of the coolest parts is you sit on it kind of like a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
And so your legs are wrapped around something, and then while you're flying on it, they have like an airbag that inflates and like deflates, so it feels like it's breathing.
Wow!
Oh my god, bro, it's
that is so cool.
Man. That is cool. It's like such a simple thing when you think about it, but it obviously just enhances the kind of 4D experience of it, or whatever, or the VR side of it. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm scared to think where we're going to be in like 10 years, but I also am very excited as well.
Westworld. Westworld.
Yeah,
I want Westworld, baby.
I think we'll have a Westworld before we die, 100%.
Yes. I want a whole bunch of like
we'll be like the main dude.
Clad sex robots.
We'll be like the main dude.
I want
the
cowboy on
guy.
a horse.
Could you imagine they did that, like something like Westworld, and they went in?
Oh, good. I'm in.
Oh, we got a raid from Flo. Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
welcome everybody. Flo, guys, welcome.
Low.
We're coming in talking about sex robots. Hey, everyone, how you guys doing?
Yes, guys. Hey, welcome to the podcast. We're talking about sex robots. Yo, thank you so much for the follow.
We don't king shame here.
No, we do not.
No king shaming.
100%. Yeah, and I fully think that we will have a real life Westworld in the next 20 years. Easy.
Can you imagine Red Dead Redemption? You're playing through it in real life.
And and you can't die. You pay extra so that you're like have God mode or something. You just go around shooting everything.
Bro, yeah, right. I'd have the worst of that. You saw how the hillbillies are in that game. I'm in Kentucky. I'm screwed.
Oh my god. Did you see? Speaking of TV, The Last of Us. Did you see the news about Last of Us this week? They cast.
I saw.
They cast Tessa. So it's if any Fringe fans in the chat, the main woman who played Olivia Dunham in Fringe, she's been cast as Tessa in the show, which is great.
Never watched Fringe.
Fringe is incredible, dude. Again, another one that was really before its time. I think it was back when JJ knew how to write, and it was just fucking good shit. Like JJ Abrams was like king back then. But yeah, no, really good.
How many seasons do you think they're gonna do for Last of Us?
I don't know. I only read that the first 10 episodes cost them $100 million to make.
Oh god. Oh, my heart.
That seems like a lot, right?
That's a lot for a show that's a lot for a show that's just started. You know, like obviously you hear that like Loki was like a 300 million budget, but like, you know, when you're talking about a franchise that's made 23 billion fucking dollars, it's like, yeah, we'll set aside 300 million to make this show because we know we'll get it back. But when you're talking about a show that hasn't even aired a pilot, it's based off a fucking video game, and if you know the past of video games, it's like it's horrendous. Like, you know, Resident Evil did not go down well. Silent Hill was shit. Like, you know, it's like all these like game into movies. Like the Warcraft movie wasn't great either. I don't think it was great.
Well, like it didn't do well in the box office, and I think some fans found it a little bad. I liked it just for the fact that I am a fan.
Zelvin, dude, thank you so much for the
gifted
subs.
But I do see like a lot of like,
thank you, brother.
You know, dropping points.
Flo, thank you so much for that raid as well, dude.
But I mean, overall, like it was, in my opinion, it was just a great movie to watch as a fan and to just appreciate it for like what it's worth for them trying. And if they ever do get back to it, of course, I mentioned before that everyone's like shouting at Henry Cavill, "Be Arthas, be our Lich King," and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, I'd be down for that. But I wouldn't want it to be smudged in a way where like they kind of like sugarcoat it and they're like, yeah, he was Arthas, yeah, he did this, yeah, he did that. All right, like, he's a Lich King. I need to see it almost as if it's from Warcraft 3. From the moment Arthas starts in his like paladinhood to the moment he becomes a Lich to the moment he becomes Lich King.
Yeah, I just, that would be awesome. I think Warcraft will never translate well because it's one, it's fantasy though, so that's hard, and then two, the art style is so bulky. Yeah, and like if you try to bring any more realism to it, it just kind of becomes unrecognizable. You know. Mm-hmm. Like, I just think that it's a franchise that doesn't work in movies.
The only thing I would say is that their design of the orcs was fucking amazing. Like, it was beautiful. Like, they actually gave them, like, muscle, like, good mass. They gave them, like, actual, like, you know, veins and stuff so you could see, like, how tough they really look. They even made the women look pretty tough, which is fantastic. Like, they did the orcs really well. So
they need Snyder to come in and do Warcraft for them.
I'd be down. I would totally be down for that.
Yeah,
I would totally be down.
Snyder's a legend.
Yeah, and it's just I totally understand where you're going with this, Drunky, but like, sorry, I'm still overly excited because I love talking about this stuff. I would love for them to try again at least one more time, and if it doesn't work, then yeah, let it go. But give it one more shot.
Yeah. I like, again, I'm not the biggest Warcraft fan. Don't shoot me. I was like 12 years old when that first game came out, and I played it for 12 days straight, the free trial, and like I was missing school. I was fucking staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning when I was 12, like sneaking and turning the computer on and playing that game consistently. And I just knew it was one of those things where I just knew I cannot get into this because my life will be over. I just knew straight away, so I had to kind of just cut the cord and just leave. But
so you picked Spider-Man and said, "Hey, we get it."
Yeah, but I don't like sit around obsessively like play Spider-Man games.
Oh, but you obsessively theorize.
That only takes that only takes 5 minutes out of my day.
Just send us a picture of your red board. Send us a picture of your red board with the strings everywhere, Finto.
I don't have it. My girlfriend's here. My girlfriend's in the chat. Lies.
That's why he really ran out of the comic book boards, is because he's using them for his theories to connect everything. Yeah. Like, this is up here. This is up here.
No, but seriously though, like I'm like, I can see like the love that you have for Warcraft, like, and I can see why you would like that movie a lot more than I would, for example. But for me, I thought that movie was trash. And like I like Travis Fimmel. I think he's a good actor. I love him in Vikings and stuff like that. I just think the movie was shit.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't like the casting felt a little off. Like I said, the orcs part was, in my opinion, the strongest point. The human story was very like off-putting. I didn't really like it that much. I knew what they were trying to do, especially for doing a Warcraft 1 style movie, but it just didn't work out. And that's why I say, like, fuck it, just skip everything, go to the point in Warcraft 3 where everybody loved that, and everybody loved that storyline. You know what I mean? Also, Finto, when you mentioned you not getting into Warcraft, Drunky, have you ever heard of DC Universe Online? I showed Finto.
Oh. Yeah.
I showed Finto the cinematic trailer for that.
Oh my god,
I've seen that.
So
that is the
good,
like
crazy.
Like I've seen, like, I'm a fan of like Warcraft like World of Warcraft trailers, that DC Universe Online trailer immediately made me go like, "Where's my money? I need to pay for this."
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Again, that's something that I know I can't touch because I'll just be too obsessed with it. And it was the same with when Star Wars brought out the Old Republic, the kind of WoW fucking MMORPG like Star Wars game. I couldn't even touch it. Their trailers for like the cinematic trailers for those movies, there's a cut of it all together. I'll post it in the Discord. There's a cut of it all together that adds up to about 35 minutes, and you can honestly sit down with food and just watch it. It's like a film. It's so good.
Live your best life, Finto.
Yeah.
Play
No, bro.
the best-
I don't have time. I'm an adult, bro. I can't. I fucking work full time. I can't.
I'm just saying, you can
can't.
play for a few hours instead of Fortnite.
I don't. I play I play about 3 hours of Fortnite a week now. Like it's gone.
Right.
It's gone, bro. It's dead. It's dead.
He's
It's
already
dead.
waiting for the next season.
I'm not. I'll obviously play it, but I'm just like,
See?
yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm hearing lost
You guys
time.
are just now realizing Fortnite is dead. Come on, bro.
I've realized it.
Jesus.
I've just put
Finto's still
I've,
giving it a shot.
I've just put so much time and effort into the game that I kind of want to stay.
Yeah, that if you're still playing Fortnite,
one toe in, you know, just one toe.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're doing that with Fortnite, then you definitely shouldn't get into an MMO because once you invest time into an MMO, if you can't
game
walk
over.
away from something, like I walked away from WoW, and maybe I'll go back to it in a year or
You'll
two,
be
3,
back.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm on
just going back
hiatus.
in.
I'm gonna come back.
Yo,
But it's
Zombin
like-
in the chat with City of Heroes. That's MMO. We need to come back. We need that back.
Ooh, man, that game is good.
Zovin
I'll get
plays
addicted to that.
EverQuest. He will outgrind any of us. Let's not get
Hardcore.
it twisted.
Good
Oh
luck.
yeah.
Good luck, says Jordan.
Good luck.
But yeah, like I understand that a lot of the games that we used to play, we're kind of slowly dropping them, not because we for sure don't like them anymore, but more so we know that there's other games to play right now. There's other things that we can invest our time in, especially for story games. Like, can you imagine if we all got stuck on a singular game and never got into like Spider-Man
Yeah.
or Miles Morales? I haven't
miss
finished
it,
The Last of Us.
I missed
I
a
didn't
lot.
finish The Last of Us Part 2
Yeah.
because I was stuck on WoW.
Yeah.
And
That
I
happened
need to
me.
go and do it.
That happened to me
It's
with Fortnite.
ridiculous.
Bro, I spent €100 buying the like deluxe edition of Red Dead Redemption 2. I played about 3 hours of it. It's insane.
I bought
Insane.
Cyberpunk and never got out of the tutorial.
Yeah.
I tried twice, and I was like, I'm not enjoying the game. I'm sorry, I'm not
Oh no,
enjoying it.
that game was great, and it wasn't that long. I think I did it in like 5 streams or something. It was a quick one, like. But I think the one that's I'm kind of scared about playing is this new bounty hunter game that's coming out by fucking Ubisoft, the Star Wars one, the open world bounty hunter game. I think that could have me in a lot of trouble, and the remakes for like Knights of the Old Republic and stuff. I think those
Are
games,
they really remaking KOTOR?
Oh yeah, KOTOR's getting a remake.
yeah.
Getting a remake, but I don't know if it's going to be like a new story or if they're literally remastering the original.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Uh-huh.
They won't tell us. But yeah, I think the Bounty Hunter open world game is going to get me in a lot of trouble because I just think that's going to take over my streams.
I'm nervous about it being Ubisoft, but it
Yeah.
is being done by Massive, who I think did The Division. I think
Yeah.
Massive made Division.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah.
And if they do something like The Division, but for Star Wars, holy fucking moly, dude! Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
there. I'm there.
I think it's going to be fire. Now I hope it's not too much like Ubisoft, and then they like just turn it into an Assassin's Creed game, and it gets really boring, and you're just bouncing around doing side shit. And like, that's the one thing about Assassin's Creed that I hate. It's just, you know,
Once you've done one side quest, you've done every side quest.
Exactly.
Like, once
They're-
you've done one of each
yeah.
kind, you've played every side quest.
It's the exact same shit, and it stopped. I've never completed an AC game from start to finish because I get so fucking bored of them. And like Valhalla, I was like, I love Vikings, I love all this shit. Like I'm gonna stick with this game. I put like 110 hours into it, and I feel like I'm not even anywhere near the end. Like I'm just like, I just can't play this anymore. I just feel bad because like every time I stream it as well, it's just like there's like a kind of dead vibe in the chat. Like no one's kind of having fun. I'm just like, I'm playing this for myself, but I know I don't have time to play it any other time outside of my streaming. So I'm like, I have to put the time in, and I just can't anymore. I've given up on it. I'm just like, I'm not going to complete this game. I just don't care anymore.
They need
why it's
better
out.
RPG mechanics, or they need to get away from RPGs. Like,
Yeah.
because the RPG mechanics are very surface level, so it's not rewarding to play it like RPG and play a couple hundred hours. What they need to do, because they're not going to get deep with RPGs because they want to keep it casual, and people don't like real RPGs, like unless you're uber nerd, like, you know, us. But what they need to do is take AC and just make it an Uncharted game But like within the AC universe, like it needs to be a cinematic
Yes.
experience. It
Yes,
needs to
yes,
be
yes.
like, it needs to be puzzle solving like that. Like it needs to be adventure scenes like that. Like they need to do that. That needs to be AC.
And Tomb Raider was such a hit with that like kind of structure to begin with, and Uncharted just kind of revived it. I think like so much
stuff like that. So much better.
Like Uncharted revived that so much that Tomb Raider were like, shit, we need to come back. You know, they're still in our thunder.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, like,
and then they came back and Uncharted did it better. Like those Tomb Raider games just aren't good.
In solo player games like that, it's like things that make you think. Like, and they kind of I feel like their big problem is they put the mindless, like Drunky just said, they put the RPG grind in a solo player experience, and it's like, if there was something worth it at the end of this rainbow, then yeah, maybe. But there never is. It's always the same. Like,
well, the story isn't good enough. The story is just not good enough. It's not rewarding enough. They're hamstringed by it being part of the future and the past, and they're trying to tell these new stories. Because I can play single player RPGs all day. Like look at Skyrim, look at Pillars of Eternity, all these like great RPGs that are solo, and I'll grind them. Like Dragon Age, I'll do it. But it sucks. We need deep mechanics. You need to feel like you're actually building a character versus that game where you can get every ability. Like there's 3 trees to spec into and you can do every one of them. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Like I've been getting back into Fallout, and I've been playing a lot of New Vegas, and I'm actually coming back to it. I've never it's so good. And I sat down and I'm like, okay, this is the one I need to finish this. I need to get to it. I never did the DLCs. I never finished the game. And I'm finally sitting down and enjoying it for what it is. And I'm loving it so much.
Play Fallout 76 next.
I will. I definitely want to try it because I heard it's getting better, especially with the Brotherhood of Steel DLC. I heard it's getting better.
My buddy is such the biggest fan of like Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas, and he's like offended by 76.
I was offended too. When I started, it was so bad. I tried to play with Katie, and she's like, "Where the hell are you?" I said, "I don't know." And it turns out like we weren't in the same server somehow. And when we tried to friend each other, we were both invisible to each other. And the only way to fix it was to find someone in the world that could invite them and then invite us. And then it was like this, like I had to literally scour for someone to like help us out.
Oh my God.
And it fixed it, and it no longer had that issue, but like it was so broken when it started. It was so bad. There was nothing. It was nothing lively about it. There were no humans around. There was nothing but like protectrons, like automated systems, vending machines, and whatnot. It was so lifeless. And from this point on, though, it started slowly getting better. I'm hearing some people that are actually still playing it talking about it and saying that it got better. So I would love to get back into it and just try it out. Since I have the game, I might as well try it.
What one are you streaming right now? Is that 4? Are you playing 4 at the moment?
He's playing Vegas.
New Vegas.
Oh, New Vegas. Sorry.
Yeah. And there's so many moments where like I get tripped up on, and I need to clip one. There's one moment where I heard one of the chiefs from like the NCR talking about like how he can't take this anymore, and I was like, oh shit, is he about to off himself? And the sound in my headphones are so loud. All of a sudden I heard like a loud bang, and I was like, what the and it got me off by surprise. And I was like, holy shit. And I haven't felt that way about an RPG game in such a long time. To actually go and make decisions and then find the consequences within them and then be like, holy shit. I didn't mean to get him killed. I didn't mean for him to do that. Like, it felt so good to have that feeling again.
Yep. All they gotta do is like these little small things. Like, they don't gotta be big moments. They just these little like tiny butterfly effect things.
Yeah.
Which like I was realizing when I played through Chrono Trigger, how cool that is. Like back then they were doing that stuff. And they've lost that, I think, in games. That idea of creating RPGs where you can actually impact stuff on a small level. Everything just has to be huge now. And they can't just have little tiny details. And I miss that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody just wants to grind through everything like really fast. Like I remember, if you ever played the Halo campaigns and search for like the skulls and stuff, that forever turned me into the kind of gamer when I'm in a world, like I look into corners to the point where I'm like, this would be a really cool place for you guys to hide something. Wish you would have, because you didn't, and I found it and there's nothing here. But like stuff like that, stuff that gives you a reason to just want to go back and just build these memories and stuff. And like you said, you're gonna have that memory for a long. You're gonna always think of that when you think of Fallout now.
Right.
And
Dude offed himself. One of the NPCs came in and they were like, "Oh my god, Chief, no." And then I talked to the dude on the side and he's like, "Have you talked to the chief? He's upstairs." And I'm like, "He's dead."
he's not
What are you
okay.
talking about? Oh, I love that stuff.
God.
But
The next Dragon Age game? That's the one I want to play, bro.
I think it's supposed to be in development, right?
So
yeah, they
good.
announced a new one, right?
Yeah, I don't think they got a date on it. The rest of this year for gaming is about to get nuts too. We're about to enter some like back-to-back months of like getting
Oh yeah, 100%. Do you know what remake I'm really excited for?
Dead Space.
Diablo 2.
Dead Space.
Dead Space. I got the fucking mark. I love it.
Diablo 2, I'm excited for that, and Diablo 5. And Halo Infinite.
Whew. I think that's what they're doing with AC next, dude. They're calling it like Assassin's Creed Infinite, where it's going to be like a perpetual world that combines all the things. And is Infinite just going to be like the word everyone uses now? Like,
I'm never playing
I don't
AC
know what
again.
it is. Yeah, you will.
Never, ever, ever. I'll watch you play it, Drunky. I'm never playing AC again. I just can't. I've cut my ties with the franchise. I'm done.
How is Halo Infinite taking so long? Wasn't it supposed to come out like last year?
I think from all the negative views, they were like, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board.
There's a lot of things. I think a lot of it in the background is like literally they're saying that they don't want to BR, and when they first announced that they didn't want to BR in it was when Fortnite was like its biggest, and they got a lot of. So I don't know if they've been like toying around with modes, or I don't know what they've really been doing in the background with it, but I just know that
Cool.
it's all or nothing. This is a series. This
How
is
do they
something that'll
not?
kill my childhood if they
It's
mess it
gotta
up.
have a battle royale, bro. They're gonna put one in. There's no way they don't do it.
I thought that was that not confirmed?
Well, they said
They confirmed in the beginning that they would never do it.
Oh
that's what they said
shit!
in the
I thought there was
beginning.
one coming. I thought that was.
No, they said in the
Oh.
beginning like we will not do a battle royale
Oh fuck!
in our Halo game. Yeah,
I
and
could have sworn I
this
heard
is-
recently.
they said that during the height of like Fortnite. So I don't know.
Peak of Fortnite was a game changer. It really was. Like, to be fair, you gotta give Fortnite the props. Like, they did change the game. Like,
Oh, of
literally,
course.
they changed everything. Like, 100%.
Well, they kind of honestly ruined the gaming industry a bit with the way they deliver content and the way everyone expects content to come out weekly now,
Yeah,
which
true.
is just not sustainable. Like, it is
It wasn't even,
not.
it wasn't even
It's
sustainable
really
for
not.
them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You know what happened with them? Like, they were doing map changes and new guns and all this shit every Thursday. Big patch every Thursday. And it was the best thing ever. Like, I'll never forget that time in Fortnite. It was just incredible. Every Thursday, we're like,
Yeah.
what's the new POI and all this shit? Like, it was just incredible. And then I remember that I think they took, like, 2 months off. Like, towards the end of, like, 2019, was it? Or something? Or 18 or 19? I think it was 19.
Yeah.
And it was, like, after, like, nearly 2 years of just constant weekly updates. And then the game went to shit. There was a big bug in the game that was there for, like, 2 months. And, like, they were getting shit. It was like, hang on a second. Like, give the guys a fucking break. They've worked their asses off
Well, the
for
problem
nearly
was
2 years.
They kept releasing new guns and skins when those bugs were out, and that's why people were mad because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, we get it, new gun.
You know,
Which,
but you
if
know
you're
they're
not
sitting
thinking
on that
about
shit.
it-
You know they're sitting on that
Yeah,
shit
I would
for
say
so
they were
long.
probably sitting on that for
Yeah.
a while. People
Yeah.
don't think of that stuff. That was already done. It's not like they built that this week instead of working on your
Yeah.
glitch.
They're
It's
on
like
schedule.
had
They're on
that.
schedules, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
They opened up a file and they dragged something to another place and said, "All right, it's available in game now." They didn't create that during that week, but
100%.
I do like some of the things they changed for the good, which I still wish would be more standard. Is like supporter creator programs. I think that kind of giving back.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing about gaming, as we've all learned, is like the community that surrounds gaming, whether it be, a specific game, a person like you yourself and your friends hanging out.
Yeah.
Community and gaming will always be hand in hand. And that to me has always seemed like the biggest like give back to your community, to your fan base, to the people that are helping you become successful, to be like, hey, if you get your friend, like recruit a friend programs in MMOs. Always a huge fan.
that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. To not and to have that in like these other mainstream AAA like shooter games, I really want to see it become a standard across all the platforms, honestly.
True.
Yeah, I think Warzone do a creator code now. I don't know how to use them, though. Like I don't know. I was trying to put in like just to test it. I just put in like Nick Merck, for example. Like not like that fucker needs any support, but you know I was just trying to put it in and it didn't even accept it. So I was like, what's his code? Like, you know, I don't know how they work, but I did see support a creator at the bottom of Warzone. Yeah, like you know, support a creators. It's not going to make a standard streamer like myself any kind of money at all, but it's cool that you can host customs and stuff like that. Like, and when the game was in a better state, I loved hosting customs. I thought it was incredible. Just the fact that like Epic allowed you to do that was just amazing. Like, you know, and even like the Warzone customs are just awful because you need to have 21 people, and like for a small streamer like me, getting 21 people geared up and ready to play a game, it's very hard. Like I remember we tried to do it one night and I think we got 3 games in. It took us about 2.5 hours to get 3 games fucking of COD, and we had to open up the lobbies and pray that like a couple of randoms popped in and stuff. So
Dude, you're preaching to the choir. In World of Warcraft, you had 40-man raids. Like, that stuff was nuts.
Bro, that was so much fun.
Can you hear a buzzing? Is there like a buzzing in the background? If we be quiet for a second, I think Gabe says he hears something. I don't know if it's him being crazy.
I think that's just the buzz that happens when a headset's max volume. There's like a natural buzz in the bass headset sometimes. I don't know.
It's just all hot MCU news we're talking about. It's buzzing in here.
It's sizzling, bro. It's sizzling.
We're on the cusp of it all.
You guys aren't hearing anything though, right?
I heard some extra buzzing. I was hearing some extra buzzing when you were showing the Twitter post, and it could be me.
Yeah, that might have been that might have been Twitter or something. I don't know. It's gone.
I'm not gonna lie. I do hear the buzz.
Do you? The only thing that I can think it is there's a fish tank behind me, and there's like a little like O2 thing going into the thing. I might turn it off. Give me one sec. Hang on. We'll see if this is it. BRB.
We'll be right back. Finto will be right back.
I guess it wouldn't matter if it happens.
What are we watching next week? Is it The Dark World?
Is it Age of
the
Ultron?
Dark? No. Thor 2, I think. Because I think Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 are technically kind of like the same time going on. Which I'm pumped for because I feel like this movie gets way too much crap. I love the tone of it. The visuals in this one are so good.
Maybe it was too early of a time to do like a dark setting for the what?
I think. Oh no, this is wrong. This is chronologically. Thor was released after Avengers, like you said, at the same time.
Yeah, I think.
I think
timeline-wise, I think it is Thor 2 next though as well.
Yeah,
I could check. I could check
think,
it real
like
quick.
they say it comes before Iron Man 3, but I feel like those movies are interchangeable. It's like
Or
they kind of
something.
happen at the same time.
It was actually during Civil War. I believe it's during Civil War.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure.
About Thor. We're talking about what we're watching next. Thor 2 in the Dark World.
I'll tell you right now. The timeline order says it is. Oh yeah, technically in the timeline order on Disney, we should have watched Thor next, not Iron Man 3. Whoops.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, this is according to the Disney official app. Like I'm logged into Disney Plus here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it doesn't really matter. Like they're both at the exact same time.
They're
both
concurrent.
They're both the repercussions after Avengers. Like so, I think we should be fine. So yeah, Thor 2 next.
Yeah.
I don't even think we have that many weeks left of. I think maybe there's just one more week, and then we're going to be into like What If and stuff. So we'll be back covering fresh content, which is going to be great.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much like we can talk about with What If. Like we might have to like pick up a movie.
Maybe,
You know,
yeah,
like-
maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
We should watch maybe like whatever episode. Where like if we get lucky, we can find out what episode. Like if the first episode's Iron Man. Obviously, we just recently watched Iron Man 1 again, but then we just talk about the OG Iron Man while we talk about like the story that they're what ifing off of.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think even at the moment there's so much fucking news going on as well that like I think you could spend an hour talking about like what's been happening this week in the movie world, and then do an episode of What If, because I presume like those What If episodes are probably going to keep us talking for a while with so much like speculation and theorizing and stuff like that.
Right.
Because like my guess is we'll have like a Spider-Man that's like the Sorcerer Supreme, for example, for like 10 minutes of an episode, and then we might not see him again, but it's like, you know, we could talk about like where could that guy be going, or what, you know, like I think there'd be a lot of like kind of bouncing back and forth of what ifs, like, of course, which is kind of crazy. I'm looking forward to that. Did you see I think it's been confirmed that they're doing a Midnight Suns TV show. I don't think it's a movie. I think it's a TV series.
Interesting.
So it's basically like a Magic Avengers, like a kind of like Justice League Dark. You know, the way they have like Constantine and stuff like that. So apparently, it's going to be Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Blade, Wanda, and Ghost Rider. Whoo!
That'd be wild, bro. Wild.
Oh my god, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, like that's like official.
That's official.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Like that's in the pipeline. Like, so obviously it's going to be a good bit down the road because you've got to obviously have the intro of Blade and the intro of Ghost Rider into the MCU first. But yeah, that's around. I think that's around Secret Wars time. So probably 2025 at this stage. But it is definitely in the works. Which is crazy. Like, that sounds epic.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you got to do, like, if you're doing Blade and Ghost Rider and stuff like that, like, you got to throw Punisher in there in the mix there as well, and if you which I presume will happen.
Holy moly!
I forgot.
Go ahead.
That was a question I was going to ask, Drunky. I forgot. Were you a fan of John Berthel? I forgot.
I like the way he plays Punisher. He's not my favorite Punisher. He like, I like the one dude who played him in the movies. I'm a fan.
The OG dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he looked cool.
Like, the Punisher is just like, he's got this anti-hero vibe, and I guess John Berthel like kind of captures that, but he doesn't seem like the anti-hero for some reason to me. Like, he doesn't seem like he's got this sleekness to him, and like, that's the Punisher to me. It's like slick back hair, long coat, trench coat in the darkness, and John Berthel's just like like all the time, like, it's literally all the time. So I like him. I really like the show. I think the prison scene in that
oh my
show
god,
was
bro,
fucking nuts.
Thomas Jane.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that is like I think like the Punisher show was pretty good, but Punisher stole the spotlight of Daredevil season 2, like, and that was it. Like, he was the perfect kind of villain. Like, you didn't know if he was a bad guy or not, or like anti-hero, like, and I just thought it was so well done in that show. That prison scene haunts me to this day, bro. It was like fucking epic, so gruesome. They're all wearing white jumpsuits, and by the end of it, he's just red. Like, it's just there's blood everywhere. It's incredible. And I only rewatched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil there recently, myself and herself, and it was just perfect, bro. Perfect. Honestly, that's some of my favorite TV ever.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just like Thomas Jane. I'm a huge fan of Thomas Jane's Punisher. I don't know why. It just works way better for me. That short he did on YouTube was like fucking awesome, bro. Like, it was just awesome. Yeah,
for sure. Little bit of DC news. People probably not too interested, but there was set photos released this week from the Flash movie, and there's a body double of Ezra Miller, who's apparently going to be playing a different timeline version of Ezra Miller. So there's going to be 2 Ezra Millers in the movie. So 2 different time. I don't know if it's kind of like, Kyle, I know you watched the CW Flash, so I don't know if it's going to be like Barry from 2 years in the future and him from now sort of thing, and they kind of interact and maybe try and help each other or some shit.
They do the Flash. If you never like, the reason I stopped watching the Flash is because not only do they do time travel, they do multiverse and time. They do all of it at the same time. They're like, oh, I'm you from the future. Oh, I'm you from the same timeline, but a different universe. Oh, I'm you from the same time, from a different time and a different universe, so I know your future. Like, it's just
it does get pretty wild.
So convoluted.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm excited though, because I think this movie is going to be kind of a retcon kind of reset of the DC universe, and I think with James Gunn coming in and all this sort of thing, I think they're off to a pretty good start. I think we'll find out next month. That Suicide Squad 2 movie's out next month. Like, August is going to be a big month.
I'm ready. I don't know how I feel about Suicide Squad 2. Like, I'm kind of excited, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, meh.
Yeah,
might just be because it's DC, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be really good. I'll try to get to the theater to see it, and I think it'll be Like, just from what I've seen, I think they've definitely learned a lot from their mistakes of the first one. They've brought James Gunn in, who obviously knows what he's doing. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy is fantastic, and this kind of just looks like it's Guardians with a different filter on it. You know, it just seems like, you know, you can't get that structure wrong. You know, you've got the comedy in there and just absolute insanity, and I think DC have a lot more free reign to be crazy than Marvel do. So I think James Gunn, and I think this is part of the reason why they're doing this whole fucking from the beautiful mind of James Gunn, or the twisted fucking, you know, the way they're doing all this shit in the promos.
Stop.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're doing it. I presume it's because
the beautiful and twisted mind of James Gunn.
Yeah, I presume it's because DC kind of have a bit more freedom to be wild. Like, they've got a shark eating people in a film, like, and it's like Sylvester Stallone, so it's kind of like, you know, it's just crazy. But I think DC have the kind of free reign to do that shit. So I think that's why they're kind of promoting it that way. Like, get ready for something to be kind of twisted and kind of fucked up and kind of crazy. And I'm all for it. I think it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's really going to show us if James Gunn is like the chosen one, or if he just kind of like, you know,
got lucky.
Guardians of the Galaxy is like kind of a singular franchise that he just embodied, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see if he actually can, to see if he can replicate that, just as, you know, because if he gets Suicide Squad 2 to pop off, he's probably going to be the biggest director in Hollywood for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone will want him, because it's like, holy shit, if you can resurrect and like fix that first fucking piece of shit like Suicide Squad movie, you can do anything, you know. 100%. Yeah.
Hey, how about the director? Oh no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do we have any all-star directors at the moment?
I would say, who's the guy that did Interstellar? Why can't I think of his name?
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan.
He's good.
Oh yeah.
Nolan's mega.
Tenet wasn't great though.
I never seen it.
It's a bit of a mind fuck, and so much so it's kind of one of those ones that's nearly trying too hard to be a mind fuck. It's definitely watch it. I think it's worth the watch. I think it's on, is it on HBO Max or something? I'm not too sure.
I think so.
Where you guys get it over there, but it's definitely worth a watch. It was one of those ones where, you know, you watch it and then you kind of have to read like what the fuck was going on, because you just don't really know. But Interstellar is probably the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah,
I would quite confidently say that.
Oh man, come on now.
I know, seriously. I think it was, like, I genuinely think it's one of the great, like, if not the greatest movie in top 3 ever.
I think it's one of the greats. I don't think it's the greatest.
Like, they teach it in college in physics. Like, the science behind the movie is so correct and so accurate that they actually like teach it. Like, it's insane.
Right.
Like,
they do get it right, because they actually hired, like, you know, physicists to work on the movie for the script, right?
Yeah.
To like check them and be producers.
Yeah, as far as I know, Neil deGrasse Tyson was brought in on multiple things in the movie, and it was just like, you know, are we okay to use this? Are you going to destroy us on Twitter if we fucking put this in the film? And he's like, nope, you're good to go. It makes sense. It's all accurate, like, you know. So
that cocksucker.
I love Matthew McConaughey in that film. He's so good, bro.
He's good. He's good. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just, you know,
I would be shocked if he did. I've never heard any person any person I've ever spoke to about that film. No one has ever said that's a shit movie. Like, you know.
No, it's fantastic. The music is beautiful in it.
Music's incredible.
The visuals were mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
But like, is it better than Godfather? Is it better than Chinatown?
Oh, bro, I just love it so much. It's so good. Trying to think, do I have any other bits? Any other news?
We covered last week Loki director Kate Herron not getting picked up.
Yeah,
as the director.
She walked
fired,
away,
bro.
Do you think so? She's saying she walked away. You think she got let go?
I think there. I read a quote in the sentence. I should have wrote it down. And the way she said it, it sounded like she got caught off guard. Season 2 was never planned, and then like they announced season 2 and she wasn't part of it.
Yeah.
And I think I think Marvel's very gracious about letting directors save face and stuff. I think Kevin Feige's a very gracious overlord to them. Yeah.
Did you see Black Widow had I think it was either number 1 or number 2 of now. It's a weird time to kind of bring out a fact like this, but apparently their box office numbers, it was the biggest box office crash for week 2 in history, And I just think like it's kind of unfair to put that out there right now with the world that we're living in, and Disney Plus and the pandemic and all this sort of shit. But apparently, like, it crashed harder than like Batman versus Superman and Suicide Squad, all these like really, really bad movies that obviously had a big upkeep, like a big like pickup in like obviously the opening weekend because people needed to see the movie. Then kind of word of mouth spreads like, oh, this is shit, and people obviously then don't go and see it. But apparently the crash was phenomenal for this film.
While I will, I will criticize them for their release stuff, because one of the articles I read was talking about how similar movies coming out right now, like Fast and the Furious and A Quiet Place, did not have this type of drop off, did not have this percentage of drop off that it did,
because they didn't have the digital release.
Right, and I think it's a fair critique. Not only do you have Disney Plus, you got people who going back to see, if you take 3 people back to the movie theater versus now we're only gonna have to buy it one time, right? Well, then the people who like share passwords, the people who pirate it,
pirate's insane. Like, if you think about it now, and like, I'll put my hands up. I have to pirate some stuff because it's just the media is not available to me in Ireland. Like, I genuinely have to. Right. I don't have HBO Max. I can't watch a lot of stuff because it's not aired over here at all. Like the Snyder Cut, I had no way of watching that.
Right.
It's not released in theaters. I don't have HBO Max. I have to torrent it. That's just the way it is. And now with the fact that it's getting released in 4K on day one, someone's going to record it and like torrent it. So they have full-blown HD rips of these movies on day one. So I can understand anybody who's watching money or pinching, they don't want to spend money on this and that. They're 100% going to fucking torrent the movie. Like, I would love to see the torrent numbers for Black Widow. I'd say it would terrify you. Like, millions and millions and millions of copies of that are being shared around the internet right now. Yeah. Like, I'd say it's insane.
I would also say that, like, it is just kind of because it's a worser movie. Oh, that's not a word. Than where, it should be. Yeah. Because I was going to go back and watch it a second time in the movies, and then the more I just kind of kept thinking about the movie, I was like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to go back and see it. Yeah. Like, I wanted to go back and rewatch it in the movie theater, but after our discussions, after thinking about the movie more, I just kind of got cooled off on the idea of going back. So that probably does play into it.
Yeah, like that's not going to happen with Spider-Man, like, and that won't happen. I don't think with Shang-Chi or Eternals either. I think those movies are going to hit in the cinema either way. I just think it was Black Widow's a bit of a special case because it's 2 years too late. It's being torrented, all this sort of shit. It all plays in, and then it just doesn't hit the same way. But I think, like, Spider-Man is going to just destroy. It's $1 billion movie, even during the pandemic. Guaranteed.
Of course.
Guaranteed.
It's going to go huge, especially after we see the trailer,
Yeah, 100%.
Have they ever released 2 new franchises back-to-back now that the MCU's been established? Because I'm wondering how the Eternals is going to do, because you don't have anyone from the MCU in it.
Yeah. I think Thanos is going to be in it. And I think that's kind of how they tie it back. To the MCU. They kind of anchor it with a younger version, like a flashback to a young Thanos, and maybe how he breaks away from the Eternals. I think that's how they do it.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah,
I would.
But do you think they would put that like promotional stuff, to get you to come in?
I don't know. I don't think they need it, bro. I think like the like that movie has definitely kind of drawn me in, and I know nothing about the Eternals. I would be as much as like a random person who's just a fan of the cinema, like, I'm getting as much information about the Eternals as they are, and I'm absolutely hyped to see it. Like, I think it's going to be really interesting.
I'm kind of mild about it, bro.
Well, nothing about the trailers really conveys that it's even part of the MCU, other than them saying like they've been keeping watch. Yeah. If you were to not see anything prior to watching Eternals, and you just watched it as a show, you wouldn't even I feel like you wouldn't even see any information that pertains to the MCU besides them saying, well, what about Captain Rogers?
Yeah.
And that's it. Well, then, for someone who hasn't watched it, I would be like, who the hell is Captain Rogers?
I think what's going to happen in that movie is they're going to be bouncing around through time. I think we're going to get a lot of flashbacks, and we might even get some flashbacks, because I think there's a part in the trailer where there's a woman, and she's like, one of the characters, she's standing in the middle of London, like in the middle of the city, like in it's modern times. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's small little clips of movies that we've seen in the past, and we'll see it from their perspective, kind of like what they did with Far From Home, when they had Jake Gyllenhaal in the background of Infinity War, for example, or Civil War, whichever one it was. Do you know when Tony Stark's unveiling his tech and he's just standing in the back with the notepad? I fucking love when they do shit like that. Like, and I think that'll probably happen in Eternals. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eternals pop their head in during World War II to see what the hell's going on with Hydra and stuff, and you might get like a little kind of third-party glimpse at a scene that we know from Captain America 1 or something like that, or, you know, even like Tony Stark becoming Iron Man, all this sort of thing. I think they've always been around, and I think we might see a couple of like kind of reverse POV clips of some of the old shit, which I think would be fire.
Yeah. So are you hoping to see God, Jesus, Sabretooth and Wolverine in World War II?
You know, bro. You know that's my favorite thing ever. Like, that is honestly the... In cinema, bro. In cinema, I think that is one of the greatest openings to a film ever. It is just so fantastic, bro. I love it so much. Dave was just shot so well.
Yeah, and I can agree with you on that. Like, after showing me that scene again, I was like, oh geez, I didn't realize how epic this beginning was.
You just forget about it. That stuck with me though. I'll never forget that scene. Like, the first time I saw that, I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, I would have just loved that entire movie to just be time jumps every 20 minutes from each of those like wars, and that would have just been a fucking incredible movie. Like, incredible. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Little bit of Star Wars news, actually. So they've actually cast a young Luke and a young Leia for the show. And also they have, you know, Han from the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, the guy that's always eating snacks.
The Asian dude. Yeah, he's always eating snacks. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's been actually cast as an Inquisitor, and he's going to be one of the brothers. So he put out in an interview during the week, he said this, and he probably shouldn't have, but he was talking about what it was like growing up being a Star Wars fan, and he was like, it was absolutely surreal being on the set of the show. And he says in the interview, he's like, you know, I like getting to see Jedi walking around and getting to see Darth Vader walking around. He was like, it was incredible. It was like I was a child again. And people are like, whoa, bro, I think you're kind of releasing a few plot lines there, like, you know. So like now we know we're gonna get Jedi in robes at some point. So whether it's a kind of flashback scene that he's a part of, or he's gonna be fighting some escaping Jedi or something, but you know, we're gonna get Jedi, and we're getting Vader. We obviously know we're getting Vader in the show. Like, we've got Hayden Christensen was confirmed, but obviously there's gonna be quite a bit of Vader in it, which is
yeah,
I'm excited. I think that show's gonna be incredible.
I'm nervous, bro. I'm so fucking nervous.
I know you're nervous. I think it'll slap. I really do.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. It just come out this year, or is it next year?
I think it's next year. Mando season 3 actually started filming this week, apparently. Obviously without Pedro, because he's shooting Last of Us right now. So they must be doing stuff with stuntmen, and then they'll get his voiceover or whatever. He's going to be back in the helmet or something. But
I think that's how they filmed most of it, right?
Yeah, I think he was quite involved for season 1 anyway. He wasn't on set at all, apparently, unless he kind of wanted to physically go there to kind of just be on the set, but he didn't have a requirement to be on the set. But apparently in season 2 he made demands. He actually wanted to be on the show. So I think part of the reason why we got the face reveal was because he actually wanted to be on screen. It was his request more so than the story plot, so which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
I'll never get over why they have him take the mask off in the one episode and then do it again in the next one.
Yeah,
like,
it was
the episode with Bill Burr, he should not have taken his mask off. Like, I don't know who fucking wrote that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts, man.
They just lower the stakes when they do that. They ruin their own moment.
He may as well not wear the helmet at all, and I think that's where it's going. I think it'll get to a point where he actually abandons the Mandalorian like armor or something, or at least the helmet, because obviously he finds out that it's a cult and all this shit. But it's like, you know,
he becomes a Jedi.
Well, he's got the dark saber, so you know, who knows what's going to happen there. I'm interested though, you know, and I thought we weren't going to be getting Mando season 3 till like the end of 2023. With the way that it was, I'm actually shocked that they've started filming it now. I think they've realized, shit, we need to ramp this up and potentially have this coming out very soon after Book of Boba, because it's all one story apparently, and even like the Ahsoka show is going to be part of that storyline as well. It's all going to be just, they're trying to do this like MCU kind of thing where it's going to be just one continuous story that's spread across different movies, and there's going to be crossovers left and right. So yeah, that's they want it. They want the MCU kind of vibe to the Star Wars universe. I'm all for it. Yeah, good luck, but I'm all for it. But good luck. Yeah, like they tried to get Feige, and they're like, shit, we'll get the master in, and I think he was just like, look, with all due respect, I don't know enough about this universe to put my name on it and do a good job. So he's like, I'm gonna bow out, and I respect it. I respect it.
MCU. I don't need to be do this.
Yeah, we really need to keep those two franchises unique. We don't really need like the same scheme for everything.
Yeah, like I'm already getting bored of MCU's formula where it's like they got to put a cheesy joke in everywhere. Like, can we just go back to having like some dramatic moments, some big action moments without everything just being like, oh yeah, funny joke here. Yeah. And then like just stop trying to be Joss Whedon in every fucking movie, man. Like it's every movie now. It's like that.
Yeah,
I can understand that. Like I'd really like some, like at least a full on like serious movie. Yeah, of course, have a couple tidbits here and there, but not like every 5 minutes.
Right. And with Ragnarok's comedy just felt a lot different than the MCU.
Well, it was written by a comedian. Even though there was a lot of
jokes. Right. And it's like who has his own unique voice, right? It just feels like so many MCU writers are trying to copy Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Where Taika Waititi just has his own voice, his own style of comedy, and it felt so different.
Yeah, it just worked. Yeah, it was fantastic. I'm very happy that he's doing Love and Thunder as well, and he's said in interviews that Love and Thunder is the most insane thing that he's ever done, and I presume he means that in a good way.
Like, I can't wait for that trailer. Like, I really want to see what that movie's about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big time.
And if you've looked at Chris Hemsworth's excuse me, his like muscles on Instagram, it's huge.
He's jacked.
And then if you look at the clips that he's done, like showing him working out, it's hilarious.
He's taking every steroid under the sun. Like, he is jacked to the moon. It's insane.
Good.
Yeah, good. Exactly. He needs to be. He's a fucking god.
Yeah, we'll do it. I'll take it.
Yeah, he is the All-Father now.
But he doesn't have the Odin power, right?
I presume that's going to happen.
He is Odin.
Yeah, I presume that's what's
We're going Old Man Thor in this movie, baby.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Oh man, can you imagine if in a future story they like resurrect Boar? Oh my god, that would be insane because then Boar could catch Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, if they really do pull off King Thor in this movie, I'll fucking lose my mind.
Ooh.
I'll lose my fucking mind, bro.
Jesus.
Who did they remind me? Who did they confirm? Was it Russell Crowe is going to be Zeus, or who's going to be Zeus? Russell Crowe, yeah. So now obviously they're saying, you bring Zeus in, you're going to have Hercules most likely, and
see, it's a little cheesy, but
and Henry Cavill just met with Marvel in London. Hercules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember touching on that when it first came out that he could do that.
Yeah.
Like when they first announced Russell Crowe, I remember we were touching on that idea.
Yeah, I think that could be why Henry Cavill's meeting with Thing. Everyone's thinking it's going to be like Captain Britain or whatever. Imagine he just comes out and is like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm actually going to be Hercules. Boom. That'd be fucking...
Be down with that?
Yeah, I'd be down with that. I think that'd be really cool. Really cool. Hell yeah. Did you see this whole thing with we were talking about Joss Whedon there a second ago? He's like getting like cancelled now for some reason. Does anyone know what he did?
Yeah, he got canceled a long time ago.
But I think
who again?
Joss Whedon, the director, and apparently because I know there was an interview quite recently. It was kind of like a Marvel panel, and there was Feige was on it, and I think it was during the promo for Black Widow. I think Scarlett was on it and Florence Pugh and stuff like that. And I must try and find the clip, but Scarlett Johansson starts speaking very positively about Joss Whedon and all the great things he did for the MCU and stuff like that. And you could just see Feige is burning a hole through the back of her head, trying to get her to shut up talking about him and all. It's crazy.
She knows what she's doing.
Oh,
She's a gamer.
Yeah, she knows. But
I believe
don't know.
William Hurt's dealing with that too.
The who?
William Hurt. Ross.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
I was actually going to bring that up. So apparently, the reason why his scenes were cut because he's got some like allegations against him, like Me Too things, like some sexual harassment stuff against him, and I think they're saying potentially like Disney don't want anything to do with him at the moment, just while this is all happening. So I think he had a couple of scenes for Black Widow because, like, you know, there's parts that were in the original trailers that we never saw in the movie. Like, you know, there was definitely extended scenes with Ross, and it looks like, you know, Disney have said, like, you know, we'll see how this all pans out before we bring it back. I want Red Hulk though, so I hope they sort it out.
And I think he has apologized, but it's still kind of a bit of a smudge. And
yeah, I think so. I think he came out and apologized, and I thought like it was over, like this happened a while ago, right? But I think maybe it's starting to come back up now. All this cancel shit, people are just trying to bring it back up and get him canceled now.
Yeah,
about him.
Yeah, people will bring up anything about someone of their past and say that they used to do this, but if they haven't really conveyed that kind of like personality now, I don't understand why you want to cancel them now.
Yeah.
Why didn't you cancel them when they were acting that way before? Like why didn't you
exactly
on what it is, you know, how severe it is. I don't want to just dismiss it.
Well, didn't
no, I completely understand that too. It's just like if he, you know, I like if it was severe, then I get it. If it was like remarks of the past, but now he's not that way, and he's trying to convey that he's not that way anymore.
Yeah.
I can see past it at that point if he understands his mistakes and he's never going to do it again. But if it's something that's like he's physically done, he's outwardly done to like hurt people, to like properly convey that like I want to make someone's life a living hell and tell them how much I don't like them, then yeah, I understand why they would be canceled.
Yeah, I think that's what didn't Joss do some pretty horrible things to Wonder Woman on the set of Justice League? Like he was like saying he was going to fucking ruin her career and stuff because she wouldn't shoot. Yeah, he was like threatening her and everything because she wouldn't shoot certain scenes for the movie. I think they were trying to like sexualize her and all this sort of stuff, and your one who plays Wonder Woman was like, look, I'm not shooting these scenes, I'm not comfortable with this stuff, and he's like, you'll fucking shoot these scenes or I'm gonna fucking ruin your career and all this stuff. Like, so I think all that sort of shit was coming out, and I think that's you know, there's a lot of stuff coming back up, like even back in the Buffy days and stuff, as Liam was saying in the chat. Like I've heard a lot of shit like coming out about him, so like I understand why Disney are really trying to distance themselves from him, like for sure.
Yeah,
should have even didn't James Gunn got fired over a 9-year-old tweet from Guardians 3, and the whole cast were like, if you fire him, none of us are coming back. That's it. Like, and they had to reject it and bring him back. Like they were like, if he's not on this film, I will not be in this film. So that was
see, and that's what I'm saying is like if you've created a brand new personality that shows that you've changed and you're no longer that person.
Yeah.
Although you've had like a little, you know, tiff with someone in the past, if the people around you see that you're not that person anymore, they will defend you for like till death. And if Joss Whedon is getting this kind of like, you know, this kind of burn, like, and nobody's coming out and saying like Joss Whedon is not that kind of person, then it's like, okay, yeah, all right, shoo, let him go.
I don't think he's being defended by anybody, as far as I know. I need to read into it more now, but the parts that I have heard have been pretty bad. So I just think there was a lot of shocked fans when they were hearing Scarlett talking so positively about him, and it was kind of like, you know, everyone in DC or in Marvel were kind of like, shut up. Yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, like, William Hurt is a good Ross, really good Ross. I forgot who the other guy. God, I can't remember his name. The other dude in Hulk who also played Ross. He wanted to come back, but William Hurt took the role.
Yeah,
can't remember his name.
Yeah, I'd like to see his story continue, especially since, like, you know, there's a lot of cool shit that they can do with him, and that it's
Sam Elliott.
Yeah. I think. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if William Hurt ends up getting, booted, I kind of hope they do talk to Sam Elliott again. Like, no offense to Hurt, but like Sam Elliott actually did play a pretty damn good Ross.
Why did he leave in the first place? I don't even know.
He didn't leave. He tried to get back in, and William Hurt stole it.
Oh wow, okay, that'd be kind of funny.
He's a better actor.
He is. No, like I completely agree. William Hurt has range. Like he's really good. But if he does get let go, then maybe they'll talk to Sam Elliott again.
That'd be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? If they brought back like an actor who had been replaced, and it's like, okay, look, we've lost the guy who we wanted the role for. Hey, number 2, yeah, come on back. We're subbing you back in. We're subbing you back in.
It's like, why not?
William Hurt, you're going to the Me Too universe. You're out. Bring someone else back. Let's go. Thank you, Doctor Strange.
Oh my god, I can't believe, Alex, I've only realized it now, but you've got Avengers bed sheets. Is that like your bed right behind you?
Oh yeah, my girlfriend gave me that like years ago, and
I don't know how I haven't. I don't know how I haven't seen that till now.
It's too dark in my room.
That's so funny.
There you go.
It's epic. I love it. I was like, I just saw the Iron Man there, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know how I didn't notice that till now. Love it. Wild. Love it. Guys, if there's nothing else, I think we'll call it quits there. I think we're.
I have one.
Yes.
I have one more.
Please.
I have one more little trivia tidbit.
Go for it.
And this is just, I would say this is just for laughs. So apparently there was an update. It says, Captain America trilogy and Avengers writers Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely revealed Steve Rogers is not a virgin. He is a guy who believes in right and wrong and all these things, but he's not a choir boy. He's a World War II veteran.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's because they cannot even fictionally pretend that Chris Evans ain't the biggest ladies man in the freaking world. Dude, if you ever watch him like interviews, he just gives girls looks, and they're just like, "Oh."
Every girl in the MCU looks at him like,
melt on him, bro.
I do the same thing.
I'm like, have you ever seen the one where like, didn't him and ScarJo date?
I don't think
she
so.
like gives him. She gives him a look. She gives him a look like after they broke up, and he gives her this look like, "Yeah, it was what it was," and she's like looking at him like, "Oh," and he's just like cold as fuck, like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Legend.
Full on chick magnet, man.
Yeah, of course. Like he's a fucking specimen, like.
Bro, you know he put out that dick pic on purpose. He's
like, whoops,
like,
my camera roll got leaked.
Yeah, it's also America's ass, but have you seen America's dick?
Yeah. That's the real Mjolnir. Fucking hell.
I am worthy.
Jesus Christ.
You imagine Chris Hemsworth use that line? You want to see if you're worthy or not?
What a legend. What a legend.
Somebody can look this up.
Got my own hammer right here.
Oh my god.
on that note, guys, I'll see you next week.
I blame Alex.
Oh my god, what a way to end it. Chris Evans.
Thor for next week, and keep our eyes out for the news.
Yes, sir. Thor. Yeah. So, guys, if anyone in the chat wants to keep up to date with us, we'll be watching Thor 2 next week in the timeline order rewatch while we wait for the new content. So, yeah, guys, thank you very much. We're just about to hit We're about to hit 2 hours 45. So that was a great chat. Guys,
yes, sir.
Always is with you guys.
Amen, brother.
Oh, it's so marvelous.
Amen.
Later, chaps.
Later, boys.
All right, later, everyone.
Bye.
Love you guys.